It's the final day of the 2015 season. Silverware on offer. Traditional rivals to collide at the home of football, KG5 Football Park. Hobart Jeep Zebras versus Olympia FC Warriors for the Victory Cup. I'm Damian Gill here on a sun-soaked KG5 for what should be a tantalising tussle between traditional rivals for the last piece of silverware on offer in 2015. I'm joined today by the birthday boy. Happy birthday and good afternoon to you, Andrew Cooling.
Yeah, thanks, Gilly. Good to be here. No, I'd rather be on my birthday alongside you for this one, Gilly. The final day of the footballing year down here in Tassie, and what a tantalising prospect this matchup is between Hobart Zebras and the Victory League champion Olympia Warriors. Should be a cracking day, and as you've touched on, just a perfect day for football. Could not ask for better weather. The sun is out and shining, and hopefully the players can shine in a similar fashion.
We're going to getting the coverage kicked off with a recap of the Victory Cup. Let's go through the highlights as it's been. We'll kick it off with our Jeep Zebras, who are in the final up against Canberra Lions. They really did a demolition job on the Lions. You'll see the highlights here. Tell you what, it was one-way traffic down at the Den, wasn't it, Drewster?
Yeah, didn't catch this one, but 5-0, and Zebras just imposing themselves. They finished the Victory League season in pretty good form, and they carried it on to the Victory Cup, and they really buried the Lions down at the Den. They really touched them up on their home turf. 5-0, just a demolition job, and the Lions limping out of the Cup. And it's been the theme of this Victory Cup, goal-scoring power of the Zebras.
What we did see as well, some shocking penalties from Adam McEwen. There was one there. I don't think he'll be stepping up to the spot if they get a bit. Oh, barely! Not live, but I'm still excited about the great man. No, Zebras far too good in that one. That's a very ugly goal, but that was one of them.
And that's what we like from the big fella up top, Sherman. He'll be a key player today. He's brought that element, that toughness up front that perhaps they've been lacking at times this season. McEwen not really a physical presence up top, and he's really played that target man role up top really well from since coming into this side, Gilly.
Yeah, Zebras have really just picked up their game towards the tail end of the season when they're up for a trophy, and I think they've just timed their run nicely. We're seeing here some of their best football up against Canberra, who, got to be honest, barely gave a whimper down at the Den. We're absolutely smack pillar to post. There's a goal from Sunday McEwen. He's an interesting customer, Sunday McEwen. Scores goals he has no right to. He doesn't mind a tap in every now and then, but sometimes manages to make a big kerfuffle out of something he should easily put away.
Yeah, he has a habit of that, but he also does a very handy knack of finding the back of the net. He's a very, very handy player to have up top. He scored absolute boatload of goals this year, as we say. Big Sherm just enforcing himself there on the contest, and just Sunday. Great
that
save,
just about summed him up. He made that look very hard.
And then bang, coming in. He's their best player this year by a mile, you have to suggest.
Yeah, well, Kurt Engels has a fair cry for that as well, but he's missed a fair bit of football.
Injury cost him there, I reckon.
Yeah, but Jaden Hay, the ultimate utility, I really like him in that utility role. I like him burst in midfield and then send him down back to steady the ship, because he works so well with Tyler Harrison back there. So it's a real luxury, and we see there he's a real goal threat as well.
Yeah, that's a cracking strike, that one. And a real key mover for the Zebra side. He'll certainly be a vital player for them today. You'd expect to see him lining up in the middle of the park, and that's just one of the more ordinary own goals you'll ever see, I reckon.
Penalty, and look at that stinker from Sunday McEwen. On to the next game. This was a real boil over. University getting the job done up against the highly favoured Launceston City. We were there for this one, Drewster, and it was a cracker.
Yeah, it was a real turn-up for the books, this one. Certainly Launceston City, the Victory League side. Most people thought would just rock up and get the distance done against the championship side in Uni, but it wasn't that way at all. After a pretty bright start by Lonnie, Uni found the back of the net from this corner, and the big centre-back Wellington going up, and that really from there just spread the confidence. They played a fantastic game at University, and really showed that Clarence United coming into the Victory League next season, who are so very close to Uni in the league this year, shows that certainly we can expect some real fight from them next year, I reckon.
Yeah, 100% agree. Launceston City struck them back and thought they might be in for a sniff, but University again proving dangerous from a set piece. Too dangerous on this occasion. David Smith bundling into the back of Hoogsoot. Big Lex Luthor bull. Struts in on his Zimmer frame and puts it home into the bottom corner. And they went into the half with a lead. And what happened in the second half was quite remarkable. This was an absolute calamity at the back when Milton was there to tap in from close range. That probably had fair chance for a penalty. Luke was terrific the whole game and posed questions with long range shooting. Just his general work rate. We see the big Lex Luthor firing off here, and it probably should have been tapped in. So you see, University were all over them. Here's the look at that! What a strike from the big bull. Puts it home in the bottom corner. And from there, it was all University really.
5-1. Usually finishing the job with a nice little header. Inside word from the participants in the finals. Olympia might just be keen on that man for next season, the Victory League.
Yeah, throwing their cash right into the back pocket of Luke Hoogs, so it'd be interesting. Across the river on the very same day, South Hobart just got the job done over the Somerset Sharks. Of course, the Northern champions 3 times in a row now. They're fiery customers, and it was a real fast, frenetic and fiery clash at KG5. And it was the keeper, Treloar, who was terrific. Absolutely terrific. Plenty of talk about Treloar in the AFL, and Collingwood really want him. Maybe they should have a look at this fella, because his mitts are good, I can tell you that much. He kept Somerset in this one, and they were far from disgraced.
Yeah, look, a pretty ill-tempered affair from all reports. Certainly not a lot of love lost between those two sides, and a real tight one. Again, we see the Victory League team being pushed by the side from the division below. So, well, I think a few at the start of this competition maybe questioned their role in this tour, but I think they've absolutely proved fantastic value. And to be honest, I'd like to see a couple more in next year. It's got absolutely nothing to do with that at all, but I'd love it to be a bit of a 4-4 setup. But really good addition, the championship sides in this competition. Really gave as good as they got and pushed a very strong South Hobart side all the way here. That's just
look at that.
Defending that.
Yeah, the fiery customers, Kyron Johnson there, he dished back. Of course, he was one of 2 Johnson brothers to be sent off. He did score a goal before he parted ways, though. It was 0-0 at the half, but as you can see, South Hobart really peppered the Somerset goal. But South Hobart maybe not firing at their usual capacity. We see here, Braden Mann with outstretched leg, can't get to that. I think he eventually finishes this one off. No, he doesn't, wide. So took to the second half. Treloar again, look at him. Free kick, this is where they opened. Classic Braden Mann.
Oh, that's a good
fires home, good hit. Little Treloar could do on that occasion. And then they doubled up pretty quick smart. Lazinski with a terrific finish. That is a great goal, real striker's goal. And you thought they might just dart away with this, South Hobart. And it wasn't through a lack of trying. They had plenty of chances, but Treloar just continued to be a real thorn in the side of South and gave Somerset a chance. We'll see here Walter with a strike. Yet again, big Treloar. Big Dukes Treloar just sticks him out. Oh, here he is, big Treloar.
Big fan.
Yeah, big Treloar. Big Kane Pearce down the other end. A little spinneroony there. Oh, man, how'd you... Oh, that's out, Treloar. In it came again, and this is where Somerset stole one. Pearce probably should have done better on that one. Come on, Kane Pearce. A celebration, absolutely toilet from Gyron Johnson, who's given his marching orders not long after. As we said, it was a fiery game. Treloar completely the star. Treloar, there he is again. And here we go, Hunt. How's he missed this? Oh, I'm not giving Treloar anything. That is diabolical from Hunt. But anyway, South Hobart won that one, and they bombed on into the semi-finals. The other quarter-final, this was an unbelievable clash over at Warrior Park. Olympia, the Victory League champions, fresh off celebrating their big championship, up against a real bogey team of theirs in Northern Rangers, and I tell you what, there was not much in it.
Yeah, they were really made to earn this one. It was a real tight tussle at Warrior Park, obviously following the University game. It was a tense affair, fairly dour for large parts. There were certainly a few chances, but space was at a premium in this one. We see here the Rangers. It was just, you always got the feeling that was the defining moment of the game for mine, because it was really that type of
100%.
game where a goal either way probably would have been enough, and he puts that in Rangers, I reckon, probably could have got home and won it.
It was probably save of the year. I know we gave it out at another time, but Sean Lewis, unbelievable, and Shoulder Anderson thwarted on that occasion. They came out and they scored through an own goal there. Manuel Sekiris very happy to claim it, but it wasn't his.
No, near it was Sekiris.
But I love it from him because that's what I would have done in his position. But that was a decisive goal in the end. And there's some tremendous football from both sides late on in the piece. Particularly the Rangers really chased the game, and geez, they went close on a couple of occasions.
In the last 5 minutes, they came close on 3 occasions there. That one cleared off the line. Here's the next chance. We see again, bang, straight in the hands of Lewis, either side of him. It's a goal. In the end, they couldn't quite get over the line. Another outstanding piece of keeping there. And here it is, the keeper in the final minute of the game. Just wide. We would have had extra time, but a really enjoyable affair, that one.
On to the semis, Drewster, and last Friday night, Zebras far too good for South Hobart in the finish, but the scoreline paints maybe a little flattering picture for the Zebras. Mainly, the difference was the efficiency in the front third.
Yeah, certainly the first 20 minutes or so, it was all one way. That goal came Pearce, bitten by something pre-game, was really struggling, shouldn't have played, and certainly affected his performance. Pearce, he had a bit of a mare. And yeah, after the Zebras were firmly in control early on, then South Hobart got right on top and were looking the better team in the later parts of this half here. There was some very resolute defending at the back. Young Tyler Harrison, an outstanding game.
Tremendous, wasn't he?
An absolute rock. Graham Wright with a good save there, but didn't really have to do a lot because the central defensive work was of such a high quality. We see Harrison sliding in. And really, they were under siege for this last 20 minutes of the first half. They were being peppered. South Hobart were controlling all the ball. It was all in the final third, but a really professional display in defence just kept them at bay, and they were able to sneak into the break with that lead. Goes up the other end, and early danger signs from Hunt, but the game would then swing, and Zebra started to get on top from that point onwards.
Yeah, they would indeed, and they were posing questions at high ball. Tremendous save there from Kane Pearce. McEwen should have poked it home, he didn't. But he's bob up a little bit later. We see this one, Kurt Engels maybe should have taken a touch and gone down with a Flosbury flop, and he might have seen Pearce out of the game, but he didn't on that occasion. Graham Wright with some trickery there, some nice little footwork. Pearce came out to that one, and yet again he did well. So Pearce, it was a bit of a hit and miss game for him, but his misses were significant. And we'll see one in a moment. Long high ball from Muller. It's there, up and under. McEwen, the undersized player, meets it with a header, puts it into the back of the net. Kane Pearce there with flapping arms, wondering what the hell just happened. 2-0 went to the Zebras, and from there it was tough to see them getting beaten.
Yep, they pushed South Hobart. They had a lot of those type of bits of play, crosses around the area that just couldn't find anyone on the end of it. It wasn't to be here this Sunday. Finishing off 3-0 Zebras, a decisive victory in the end, and one that will give them a lot of confidence heading into the final. He grabbed himself a brace, and it's not too often you thump South Hobart 3-0, so you'd imagine they'll be flying high after that one.
The big thing for me was just how little chances South Hobart actually had on goal. They're a team that often pepper goals. They really pose questions of defences, and I don't know whether it was... Well, you've got to give some credit to the defence of Zebras. It was tremendous, and it's going to need to be today up against a formidable outfit in Olympia. We're on to the other semi-final, and this was, for me, game of the season.
Absolutely game of the season. An absolute blast up at the Grove. Look, usually putting you to hit after 4 minutes, and they were off and running then. Just a terrific atmosphere at the Grove. It was horrible conditions. It was an absolute bog of a pitch. It was a real proper cup game, and Uni took the shock lead. Everyone was expecting Olympia to get this done pretty well. It could have been 2-0 if not for a very sharp piece of keeping there from Lewis, and they were really taking it up to the Victory League champions, Uni.
You sort of thought it was just a matter of time, though, until Olympia would regain the ascendancy and go, we're the big boys here, we'll take control. It's not exactly how it went, and they had chances, but Uni stood defiant and were pretty darn good. You got to say, there's one from Isles. Isles was tremendous. I thought he's one of Olympia's very best, but it was end-to-end stuff. They both teams had opportunities. It was slippery, it was a slop. And we'll see here, look at this desperate defending from Uni. Big Millington just chips it out of there. It's all there, all going. The big bull standing up. But it went into the break at half time, 1-0 to the Students.
Magoo. He's picked
Second
someone
half,
out. Finish was lacking
as we
from
see, Rob Kay came off injured. There was a big blow for Union. They had to replace him with their second gloveman. We see Harry Woolley equalised. It was a good goal there from the fullback.
Spent a lot of the day in the opposition area. Well, he was bombing up that flank tirelessly as they chased the game, and certainly had a massive influence on it. Woolley, but at that point you thought, they've been broken. There's probably going to be Olympia too good from here, but they never really handled the conditions as well as their opponents. One would think they're going to enjoy playing on the plastic pitch here a little more than they did this bog last week, because they just didn't handle it.
No, they didn't at all.
They kept trying to play their passing game, and we've lost the highlights here.
Yeah, we've jumped out of the highlights because we're not far from getting underway, but how that game ended, Drewster, we all know how it ended. But
4-2 up with 4 to play in the 116th minute it was, and somehow the Houdini act from Olympia, they scored 2 late goals. They booked themselves a spot in this final, and that's why they are marching out alongside the Zebras right now.
They are, but they're marching out wounded. Of course, Shea Hickey out of the side from last week. Shown red with 2 yellow cards, so he'll miss today. The good news for him is that Olympia are able to get up, so it means that he doesn't miss the all-important NPL clash next week.
Yeah, it does leave a big hole in their midfield, though. No Nick Mearns either. That is a massive gap in this Olympian midfield they're going to have to fill. We'll get onto the team shortly as we see the sides lining up out there. Absolutely picture-perfect scenes here. The sun is shining. It is just a perfect day for a cup final.
They're fired up, the Zebras, you can see. They want to finish this season with some silverware. Forever the bridesmaid, it seems, the Zebras, the men in black and white, always involved in big days like this, but never come away with anything. Today, I think they're energised, determined to come away with something from a season that's been a lot of... It's been what if, really. They've looked so good at stages, but an injury crisis really ruined their season through the middle period. Olympia, on the other hand, searching for a 2015 treble. Of course, they took the Summer Cup. They took the one that everyone wants to win in the Victory League, and the Victory Cup would just put the cherry on top of what has been a tremendous season over at Warrior Park.
Yeah, no doubt they'll be keen to add more silverware. Once you get that first taste of victory, you always want more. There's no doubt that they'll be gunning for some more today. We see the managers, Chris Hay and Glenn McGill, two very astute managers, as the Zebs just rocking out the mascot here. They are absolutely up and about for this occasion. The referee, Charlie White, his assistants, Jimmy Hordle, Sarah Wakely, and the Copra Chopra.
Yeah, the big helicopter with the board on the sidelines as 4th official. Look at that as a team photo. Struth. Got the big zebra at the bottom. So we're not far from getting underway here. Charlie White, referee of the year, fittingly officiating this one. Time for tips, I reckon, Drewster. The big birthday boy, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I'm leaning Zebras today. I think this is as good a chance as they've had for silverware. I think this is as vulnerable as Olympia have been. Mearns and Hickey have been such a pillar of this Olympia side success all year in the middle of the park. Nichols, he'll move into there. Di Martino will play centre-back. So, I mean, Nichols, Hoy, Meredith, it's still a pretty good midfield 3, but I don't know if it's quite the quality of the Hickey-Mearns partnership. I think they're vulnerable there. I think this Zebras side, they've peaked towards the end of the year. They've ended the season in better form. I think it's going to be a cracking contest, but I'm going 3-1 to the Zebras.
Mate, I should have gone first, because now I have to tip Olympia, because otherwise...
You do not have to.
I'm going Zebras. I think they're just going to be too good this afternoon. I think they've peaked right at the right time. I think Olympia somewhat limping towards the line. Eyes on next week for the NPL final series. They've got people on ice. They aren't risking your Mearns. Hickey's not out there. Alex Holmes a while back got injured. We're seeing Griffiths out of the lineup today. I don't know what the story is there, but you have a new face in Cullen coming straight into that back four. Di Martino as well. Zebras for me, looking the goods. They're coming in contrasting fashion. Zebras the far easier run. This Olympia team played 120 plus plus penalties last week, rather. So there's going to be some tired bodies out there, and I think Zebras will just be too good. I think I'm with you on the big Shermanator. I think you think he's in for a big afternoon. I tend to agree. I thought maybe Di Martino would be lining up in defence. It looks like we've got Callan back there.
Luke Isles at left back is the interesting one.
Kick off, Drewster. We're underway.
Toggy will get Zebras going. He looks up and he'll dwell on it for a bit and play back to his captain, Henry Fagg. He and Tyler Harrison, so outstanding last week in that semi-final. Did not put a foot wrong. Here's the lettuce farmer, a favourite of ours. Meredith gets it to Hoy. It'll be interesting to see how Hoy is. He was left on the bench all of last week. McNeil said he was very tempted as the game wore on to introduce him, but on a rather dodgy pitch. Didn't want to risk such a prize asset in Gavin Hoy. But he's a real key mover. It seems like he's lining up on the right today. It's a slightly different formation as Kurt Engels gets them moving forward. Here's Tolkill on the overlap down the left. He'll wait for Engels to hook back around. Now he can deliver into the area. Sherman's there. It's over the back to Sunday, and he got his head to it, but put it wide. But a bright start from the Zebras. Some lovely work down that left-hand side. Had all day to put the cross into the area. And Sunday not too far away from a first-minute goal in the cup final here. Danger signs early.
Sunday just couldn't quite get it on the Saturday. That's a shocker from me. Goal kick. I'm off to a shaky start, just like Big Sunday. Sean Lewis to bring it back into play. Tell you what, didn't he stand up in penalties last week? Saved 2. And just really looked to just thrive in the pressure of the spot kicks as it's Hay now who looks to burst away from the bullseye. Stopped in his tracks by Isles, who dishes to Meredith. Back for DiMartino. He overshoots this ball. Cooks the goose, and it runs out of play.
The Dwayne Walsh will launch this one forward. Isles won the header. Sherman hustling and bustling in there. He gets the ball and now he turns, releasing Engels down the left. He'll run at Woolley. It's Kurt Engels. Teases one into the area looking for Hay, but just overhit and a roll out of play. But Zebras with a bright early start here. They're moving the ball quickly, decisively, and Engels has now created 2 dangerous moments in attack here. He's going to be such a key weapon for them today, Kurt Engels. Such a good player. There's this ball by Muller. Very underrated footballer. Muller was one of their real stars last week. Jordan Muller just goes about his business, similar to how Mearns has played, I think, this year for Olympia. Just quietly keeps that midfield ticking. Here's Sunday looking around that one, but he got that horribly wrong and it's out of play.
An energetic start from the Zebras. They're just going to be hungrier for the contest. I know Olympia are out for a treble, but Olympia are out to Zebras rather out to get a piece of silverware from the season and finish with a bang and potentially kick on into a new year. 2016 they'll be hoping will be their year. It's been a matter of almost this season. Dwayne Walsh, the Pink Panther, down the line he goes with a throw, finds McEwen, back for him, bobbles off his boot. Isles in to pick it up. Just out from Buele, he finds Nichols. To Hoy, who shimmies and shakes and burns off Tolkill. It's a foul against the Zebras fullback. And Hoy back in this Warriors lineup and looking sharp early on. Nichols, forward he goes. Flicked on nicely from Meredith. It falls for Sakiris. His touch bobbles up. It's still there for him though. If he can bring it under his spell, he fires off a shot. Ping-pongs around. Tries an acrobatic effort. Brings down for Meredith. Back on the outside for Hoy. Hoy inside for Meredith off the chest of Harrison, and he clears the danger. Propels forward off the chest of Isles. It's picked up by Sherman. He spins and looks for company. He's got Muller offering. He's waited. He'll go to the Dwayne pipe. Look back. And Sherman uses defence. Good bit of work there from the experienced Sherman. Former Ramsgate FC captain. It's pumped long, supreme service from right. Picks out Tolkill to perfection. Down the line he'll find Engels. He drops it off in the middle. Hay will pick it up at the edge of the 6. He chips it at back post. Ooh, it's just wide and too far for McEwen. He'll track it down to keep it in. His layoff for Muller's a bit sloppy, and Wadawi will take it up with open hands. 1-2 with DiMartino. I'll measure things and just quiet it down here, Olympia. A frenetic start near the central region. He finds Nichols to Hoy, who just a touch off with his pass meant for Sakiris. Finds Fagg instead to Buele to Engels. He tries a long driving ball. It's cut off from Vandermeer, and Nichols takes a touch and a fair chunk of McEwen on his way, and he'll have a foul for his troubles. To get things moving quickly through Luke Isles. He's in fullback, which is interesting. He's a tremendous fullback. There's a real luxury to have him there, Drewster.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Certainly A very talented player, can play in the more advanced position. He's played a lot more on the wing this year, but shifting to fullback today with Griffiths on the pine. It's a bit of a makeshift 11 from McNeil. Obviously, DiMartino in midfield. We saw him play centre-back last week. Jack Callan slotting into the heart of defence alongside Van der May, who's just been one of the pillars of this side. Here's Sakiris, turns on it. And DiMartino shifted out to Hoy. He's in a bit of space. Closed down now by Tokyo. That's a tiny little pass to the lettuce farmer. Plays a nice one, 2 with Hoy. Bouncing it. It's a good save by Wright there.
Great save.
Dangerously bouncing in the area. No one there for the tap in, but Gavin Hoy with an early flash there. He played a nice 1-2 and drew a spectacular save from Wright. He had his angles covered really well there. And some nice work from the number 1 for Zebs. He had to be sharp, and despite the first 5 minutes really being monopolised by the Zebras, the first real action of the day for Harry the keeper comes from Wright, and he had to be good.
Absolutely. Might want to see that one again if Ash, you can bring up the replay. Jeez, what a save it was from Wright. Real strong hand. Really strong hand. I'm sure Ash is working his magic. We'll get it up in a moment as it comes back for Toghill. Chips down the line. Looking for Sherman. It's swept clear from Van der May, and it's over the top, and Harrison doesn't track it down. Sakiris is in on goal now. He fires an early strike and is out to the left. Warriors so very close to an opener, just 7 minutes gone.
Yeah, they're getting a foothold in this game now, just blazing away a bit there. Sakiris needs to just keep his head. He went for the spectacular. We need to just get it on the deck. But dangerous there. A lot of space for Sakiris in behind the centre-backs. We saw last week, great a man, rarely got a sniff, and they've turned it over again. Here's Gavin Hoy. He's got Sakiris in the middle pick out. He's running at Fag. He teases it to the back post, and the head of young Tyler Harrison was there to guide it away. But this is good from Olympia. They're really putting the Zebras under the pump here. And a very action-packed 7 minutes in this one. Both teams looking to create, and both teams posing a real threat. A really open cup final so far, which is quite often not the case. Normally a rather cagey affair as Wadawu looks to get round the Dwayne Welsh, and he just puts it into touch. Miles will certainly be a key man bombing down this left-hand flank. I'd expect him to overlap him, and Walsh on the same flank as each other are just going to be trying to outdo each other all day. This one's hacked back towards Van der May, heads it towards Lockie Nichols, and he'll guide it back, and Olympia will just settle it along the back here in the middle. Hoyes looks sharp early, and Puele misjudged that one. Here's the lettuce farmer Meredith. He's got a couple in support. Puele with an outstanding challenge in the end. Just got back. He made the error to turn it over, but he won the ball back at a crucial time. And Gavin Hoy looking a real live wire early in this one.
Isn't he?
We thought he might be a bit underdone, but he looks all right to me.
He does, as Muller puts a ball down the right-hand flank, calling for runners. A bit of miscommunication, it looked like, from the Zebras. Buele, crucial challenge. I tell you what, it was tremendous stuff from the Cameroonian, and what may be his last game for the Zebras. It's going to be really tough, Chris Hay was saying, getting him back here, visa issues. So likely to be his last game, and not a bad start from the international.
Took a little while to find his feet in the league, I think it's fair to say, Buele, but he's really settled into the role and just provides a really good shield for that back four. He keeps it simple. He doesn't try and do anything too outrageous, but he very rarely misses a pass. He breaks up the play. He's a very useful player. As Woolley will take the throw in. Opts to go long down the line where Meredith had run for him. Getting back was Buele. His header was meant to go to play, didn't quite. Toghill across, and his hack clearance found the head of Buele, and that's a rather poorly timed challenge, Buele, and he might go to the book here. He might let him off due to how early it is, but he's just unnecessary. He's just didn't need to make that one guy, Buele. It'll present a good opportunity here for Olympia to whip a ball in from a dangerous area. It's going to be Gavin Hoy standing over it. It's all Timber getting forward. Nichols, Van der May, Sakiris. Really the key ones he'll be aiming for. Did a really good job dealing with the set pieces of South Hobart last week, Zebras. How will they deal with this one? Hoy, the deliverer. 2 in the wall. And it's the Warriors on top at the moment. Hoy with the ball to the front post, gets through a sea of bodies, and buried by Van der May. Olympia with the early lead. It's the captain, Jake Van der May, bombing forward. The ball found its way through a sea of bodies, And a captain's goal here to start things off just 10 minutes in. Well, Olympia had started brightly, and they've taken full advantage, and a very pro-Olympia crowd here, you got to say, and they love that.
I want a replay of the goal and the celebration. Went bonkers. Went absolutely bonkers. I think we're having some replay issues. We'll get to it in a moment, I'm sure, but Jake Vandermeer putting them up very early on in this piece. So Zebras with it to do now, Drewster, as it's shifted centrally to the left. Down the line from Tog Hill, it sits for Hay. He tries to nudge it into the middle. It's cut off from DiMartino. Hustle and bustle, and Hoy loses it. Hay now nips away. Looks to use that pace. Drops it off for Engels. Advantage paid from White. And Engels does well to win a corner. So Zebras, can they get a quick reply here?
They say most vulnerable just after scoring. I'm pretty sure it's just a cliche that's got no statistical backing whatsoever, but we'll go with it here. Can they hit back? And the first 5 minutes really sharp. The last 5 minutes it's been all Olympia. A really bright opening in this one. As this one's curled in, Lewis is out, and two strong fists to clear the ball away there. Boulet leads Meredith to the ball and just turned nicely. Some real guile there from the Cameroon. He's overhit the pass low. Muller was sold very short. Wadawu now bursting through the middle if Securis can find him. Oh, he should have played the early pass there, and in the end, some really good defence there by Dwayne Walsh to cover. He had to be good. He was in a real foot race with Securis there, and maybe just need to hold up and slide it through to Wadawu, who was bursting through in the middle. But again, some real danger signs here in this Warriors front three. They are clicking at the moment. And they're winning the midfield battle, you got to say. That's a poor pass. The referee wasn't ready, though, so let off the hook in the end. Probably somewhat fortuitous. Let off the hook. Everyone had stopped. They'll get a second bite at the cherry. A really good start for the Warriors. The Zebras just need to settle it down a little bit at the moment. Looking a little bit panicked. Passing's a little bit off. Walsh wanted to go to Tog Hill, but that option was covered, so he just lobs it forward towards Jaden Hay. He nods on. Headed well clear by Callan. Getting across was Muller. Engels. Back to Tog Hill. Tog Hill plays it to Engels down the line. Muller with him. And they're just hemmed in on the line at the moment. Tog Hill looks to get something going and really working in tight areas. Those three in the end. Engels decides just to reload it by going back to Willow. Makes a bursting run forward. Tog Hill will look to get his cross in now. Teasing ball. Headed well clear by Callan. Wadawu fights with it with DiMartino, and then they just hoof it forward to no one in particular. Graham Wright will be all over that one. Take it back into his area. Plays it out to Henry Fagg, and probably a good idea for Zebras just to settle it down here, just get a bit of possession. Certainly trailing 1-0 will be happy just to slow the tempo, and they've misplaced a rather basic pass here and a little bit off at the moment, Zebs. It's going to be Woolley to take the throw. Nichols presenting short, ignores that and goes longer in the direction of the lettuce farmer. Sailed over his head. Here's Henry Fagg. Hack clearance in the end, and lurk in the middle of the park here by Nichols, who's having an influence on proceedings early on. He wants the ball back from Hoy. He gets it. Really dictating things in the middle. That's a lovely ball down the right. They cut it back. Securis won't be able to get it. He's closed down by Harrison and Fagg, but Lockie Nichols, who's really stepped into the midfield role. He's got it again here. He's running the show in the middle. Here's Wadawu to Meredith. He's brought down rather crudely by Tog Hill in the end. And a free kick in a very good area, and it'll be a chance. Maybe Hoy to get one on target. Try and test the Scotsman right, but it's Olympia looking the better team, looking the more settled side here in the cup final. And this will be a good chance for Gavin Hoy to get a shot on target. But no Nick Burns and Shea Hickey today. It's Lockie Nichols who's taken over and is really assuming that midfield general role at the moment and doing it well. Gavin Hoy over the ball. Bit fancy, he'll go the shot. The Canadian, what can he conjure up here? Nothing much. It's well over the top. And a sigh of relief from the Zebras, who have been notorious slow starters this year. They've often taken a little while to get a foothold in this game. They've really been able to put a full 90 minutes together. Plagued them at times. They tend to come in and out of games and have 15-20 minute patches where they play the best football in the competition and then they'll just switch off. So I think they'll be hoping that they can flick that switch, but Olympia might be up 2-0 if they're not careful, because they're really looking dangerous, Gilly. And Nichols has got it here. He's played the ball into Meredith, and Nick Meredith has doubled the Warriors' advantage just 15 minutes into this one. Played in by Lockie Nichols, the lettuce farmer, with a cup final goal. And the Warriors crowd are up and about here at KG5. The Zebras are shell-shocked, Gilly.
Zebras are in tatters. They've been ripped apart here from Olympia, as we see the replay. Lettuce farmer far too good on that occasion. They're breaking our axes. They're under strength. They're under man, but they've been far too good for Zebras so far. All over them early on. And Zebras have gone well back in the shield. They look a shadow of the team that we've seen in recent weeks. They've got to quickly pick up the pieces and find their way into this contest, or it's going to be a mountain too tall to climb.
Very fast footwork there from Nichols. Beat two, played the through ball, and, well, no Hickey, no Mearns, no worries at the moment. And the Zebras have got to get a foothold in this game, because they are looking absolutely rattled at the moment. There's not a lot of talk out there. The Warriors up and about, and a buoyant crowd here. Maybe the Zebras home ground, but you wouldn't tell that judging by the crowd. They've got a very strong turnout, the Victory League champions. They're a club that's up and about, and their fans absolutely loving life at the moment. Soonil and Isles with the ball. And they've really controlled proceedings here. Sakira sends it on Muller. Dwayne Walsh battling with Darwin, losing to Adawu. And then Muller was there to cover. But a very good start here by Olympia, and still pressing on. A perfect start. We thought it was a bit of a makeshift 11, but McNeil might have just found a winning combination here. They seem to be playing very nice combination football. They've got the passing game going. I think they're loving life on this pitch after last week, having to play on that Linda Grove pitch. They're loving that their passes are just flying around, and they're just passing all around the Zebras as Meredith looks to cross to the back post, succeeds in finding only Toggill. Doesn't convincingly clear though. It might come back with a bit of interest. DiMartino with a pretty ugly hoof in the end. Toggill just outworked by Hoy. That's not something you'd expect. You'd imagine Toggill would win those physical battles. Here's Nichols, passes back to Woolley, plays the direct ball to Sakiris, but right with a safe pair of hands.
Swallows that one, big righty. Tell you what, he's had more work to do than he would have hoped. Zebra's defence that was so good last week has been cut to pieces. A knife through hot butter. They play it around now. It's forward from Hay to Wengels. He's had limited supply out there. It's Woolley who steals and races down the line. He's just nipped down by a Toghill, and he'll have a foul. So Olympia well in control early days in this contest. Well, the first goal came from Jake Vandermeer, and the second coming from the lettuce farmer, Nick Meredith, who doesn't mind a goal. But as you said, a makeshift 11 is proving to be a very effective one right now. Hoy over it, delivers in. It's headed away from Toghill, picked up by Woolley once more. He drives long into the box. It just eludes the head of Sakiris. He was offside anyway, so it was all in vain. So right across it. Plays it short for the skipper in Fag. He's really got to pull these troops together right now, because I hate to say it, they have a bit of a choker's tag, the Zebras, in recent years, and what we've seen so far is that they have not come to play in this ball game. We'll be hoping for a response as Sherman gets it, darts into the middle, ping pongs back. Picked up by the lettuce farmer. Gets it forward. Sakiris will claim he let it run, but he's just clean, fresh aired it. Picked up by Walsh, the Pink Panther, from right to left. Picks out Fag. It's a long ball, and one Olympia shouldn't have too much trouble with. As the skipper finds his gloveman. Sean Lewis, he's so good with his delivery. Will he find Hoy here? No, it's one down by Toghill. Angles keeps it alive. That last samurai-like look to Buele, to Muller in traffic, back for Harrison. This is better from the Zebras. Bobbles up for Sunday McEwen. He's got Isles following him every step he takes, every move he makes. He's watching him. He comes down the line and it's out. Darwood takes it quickly down the line. And it's Meredith who can't quite bring it under control. A throw now for the Zebras.
All slogging it forward, and Isles nods it down. Muller and Buele colliding a little bit. They've got the numbers, so they win out. Buele to Engels. His touch was a bit heavy though. Let in Nichols, who's just running the show in midfield at the moment, doing his own thing. He shifts it out to Warren Wadawu down the left. Wadawu jinks back inside very nicely. And he'll play it back to Van der May. He's doing it easily at the moment, the Warriors. And I've got to say, when the Zebras have the ball, the pressing from Olympia has been exemplary so far. They're really forcing the turnovers. And they'll lob this one down the line with Van der May. We haven't seen a lot of that long ball, but it's a beautiful long ball in the end. Woolley bombing on, and he hacks a rather poor cross in the end that goes out of play, but it was almost 1-2 and in the area. Woolley certainly not shy about getting forward. He scored 2 and put a 3rd into his own net last week, but we saw last week he's a real marauding type fullback. He's Fag on the ball. He'll just launch this one along to Sherman, who hasn't done a lot early, and he's drawn the foul here. He just says, get up and about, boys. A real leader on the field for them, Sherman. He's been a good inclusion this year.
He's been great, hasn't he, the Shermanator?
Just added some real bite to their attack. Buele gets things moving quickly. The referee says too quickly, bring it back. Engels is in plenty of space, and that option you'd imagine will be closed down pretty quickly now, and he'll just lay it back. Fag, so he wants to take him for the correct position. Didn't think that was where the foul was from, but anyway, play on. Here's Gill, who goes back to Fag. Olympia getting everyone back, compact and organised. Fag will lob this one into the area. Will it spill out the back for Sunday? He does well to keep it in, and no, he didn't keep it in the end, so it'll be a goal kick. It's looking terribly inventive going forward at the moment, Zebras. Bit of Route 1 football at the moment.
They've been smashed, I think. I think really the first goal from Van der May took the wind out of their sails, and they just haven't looked like it since. They're just really looking a bit startled by the start from the Warriors. It's been tremendous.
You're right, it's the goals. The first 5 minutes, they played some very nice football down that left with Engels getting them behind, put a couple of crosses in, but since then, all one-way traffic. Here's Wadawu. Tried a fancy little move to get around Walsh, but very nicely done. Used the body there, Dwayne Walsh. Just blocked him off, knew what he wanted to do. That'll be a really entertaining battle, that one. Walsh switches the play. That's the best effort. Set Fag a bit of a task. In the end, Gill's got a bit of time to recover. Goes into Buele. Buele forced to pass backwards, and a lot of his passes going backwards at the moment. Buele, they're not really getting the ball moving forward in a meaningful way.
For me, Buele is a great player to have in your side when you've got a lead, because he won't give up the ball, he won't hurt you, but he doesn't necessarily create. And it's sometimes he might be a player that if we get into the second half and there's still a deficit, he might be someone that comes onto the bench and you see Harrison Thomas introduced that can actually create some things for you. As McEwen picks it up now, puts it into the path of Hay. He's got Nichols, who's just seen away from him for a moment. Hay's picked it back up. Contact coming onto the midfielder, so it'll be a set-piece opportunity. And Jaden Hay, we've seen him strike these and strike gold from these. So a big chance to reel one in for the Zebras. Do like the way Charlie White goes about it in the middle. Just a little side note. Just think I know he won Referee of the Year, but I think he's very deserving. Tremendous referee, just a real feel for the game.
Players like that he's on their level. He'll talk with them, he'll explain it. Engels or Hay here, do you reckon?
It's Dwayne Walsh or Engels, and Engels takes it. It's a flat, straight into the breadbasket of Lewis. Fairly tame effort from the big Engel rider. Didn't get those big drivers behind it in any great fashion.
Yeah, set play there. Sherman looking to follow up. You have to hit a little bit harder if you want to draw a fumble from the keeper of Sean Lewis's quality.
Yeah, exactly right. Sean Lewis, unbelievable gloveman. I don't think we'll see him in the Victory League next year. I think he's potentially on to bigger and better things. Nice on the NPL over in Victoria. As throwing comes in, brought down from Hoy. He nips inside, finds Sekiris, keeps it moving. Fag blocks, and it's Zebra's way now through Muller. And Engels, a little flat-footed, these Zebras. Back he goes for Harrison. To the Pink Panther, Dwayne Walsh. He's got Wadawu closing him down. Goes back for Harrison. To Muller. Going nowhere fast here, the Zebras. Good pressure from Olympia, and here they go, a turnover. Oh, a handball in the process. Very, very fortunate there, the Zebras. It was probably there, but geez, could have been a lot uglier for them. This is played out to the left, and it's Gill. You can't get it by Hoy. Luckily, it comes back for them through Boile. You'll find Muller. Not moving with any great purpose. He has it stolen by Nichols, who's just been tremendous. He's been all over it in the middle of the park. Lays back, finds DiMartino. Nudges it into the path of Hoy, who gives it back to DiMartino as Nichols. Meredith now, who plays through for Sekiris. He fires over to the bottom right. And Olympia are absolutely all over the Zebras here at KG5 Football Park. 27 gone, 3-0 to the Warriors. A goal from not much, really. They found a way out of traffic. It was terrific work from Meredith, just to nudge it through a sea of Zebras. And Sekiris was good enough to get onto it at the edge of the box, take his chance and put it in the bottom corner. 3-0 Olympia, Zebras with plenty to do.
Yeah, a lot to do. This is going to be a monumentous task now to come back. They've been completely overwhelmed in midfield, and Meredith's having an outstanding game, receiving it there from Lockie Nichols, who's just run the show. Those two have just completely dominated proceedings. They've controlled the game. And we spoke pre-game about how good the Zebras' back four was. They've been dissected with a consummate ease so far today. It's been all too easy for Olympia. They've gone forward. They've been cut to shreds. And wow, this is some really impressive football from the Warriors. They are stamping their authority on this one. They're taking full advantage of their territorial dominance. And really, the back four that was so good last week has not stood up. In the midfield, I'm going to say, hey, Muller and Boile, they're getting utterly smashed in there by Nichols and Meredith. It's been clinical. Can they pull one back? They need to do something in a hurry. Gill, Engels out the back, but Sean Lewis was there. Very assured from the Glubman. I suppose if there's one very small positive is they've got over an hour to get back into this game. They've still got plenty of time to respond, but 3 goals. 2 goals was tough enough. 3 goals, good luck. And this one's just Route 1 football over the top. Fag nodded it back to the lettuce farmer, who's brimming with confidence, trying to rather audacious
he's tried to pluck out his best iceberg, and he's come up with a bit of mescaline there as he's trying to race through the other way. Mescaline is the type of lettuce, mate, as it comes through
I
from
know
Hoy.
what mescaline is. Interesting type of lettuce. Anyway, it's with Tahu.
Oh, he's nipping around. He looks to drop it into the centre. It's blocked by Hay, and they escape for an instant here, the Zebras, and they might be away. It's Callan who sees it out. Callan doing a pretty good job up against the big Shermanator back there. Of course, hasn't played centrally. We've seen him at fullback a couple of times off the bench. Oh, he's lost his footing here. He's Sherman. He looked to race away. He's got not much offering inside. He'll have to go back for Engels, likely. Oh, not a lot of space between the pair, but Engels gets to the byline. Puts a cross in, but only Isles home. There was nothing going there for the Zebras. A lot of flat feet and in poor positions, really. No one offering at the front post to tap it home. Isles just had that all to himself.
You can see Engels and Sherman looking to get involved, but a little bit stunned at the moment, the Zebras. They certainly weren't expecting this. They came in probably in the better form. They blitzed their way past the Lions as Harrison is just robbed of it by Sekiris. He walks this past Fag. Sekiris, oh, brilliant save by Graham Wright. Manning Sekiris beating both central defenders, and it took a fine piece of keeping. He was sharply off his line from Graham Wright to deny this being 4-0. And to be honest, if it's 4-0, it's game over. I'm hesitant to say that after last week, but at 4-0, I'm just about happy to put it in the book. Oh, well done, DiMartino. Wadawu shifted the ball around. Isles. Here's a lovely ball for Sekiris. Is in behind again, and this time the offside flag is raised to deny him. But this is just incredible stuff here. Look at this. With such assured work last week from the central defenders, Sekiris walks past both of them, and some good keeping to deny this being 4-0.
Good keeping from big Graham Wright. I feel sorry for the big fella back there.
Nothing he can do about any of the girls.
Exactly right, and he's 3-zip down. Text coming in from Hugh Ludford. He's not happy with my lettuce call. Thought it was garbage. Oh, it's Puele with a bit of swagger and steez. Just spins out of trouble, puts it out on the left. Finds Gill. He's got one to deal with. He puts it into the mix-up. Oh, Engels can't bring it under control, and it'll trickle away from him and out of play. So another throw in here. This is Olympia. You've got to say it's a strong vocal Olympia crowd here at KG5 in the enemy heartland.
Well, they've packed
they're up and about.
Very blue kind of crowd, if you look there.
Their mood is far from blue at the moment. 3-0 lead. They're all over it. He just toes it along the line, out of play. A throw in now for Zebras. Through the big Dwayne pipe. Down for Engels. Can't keep it under control. And it's Wadawa who just very agriculturally just ships it out of play. Look at Chris A there. He'd be stroppy. He'd be one stroppy man.
Well, they've not done anything right, really, have they? They've been a far cry from what we've seen in recent weeks. Demolished Kingra. Comfortably dealt with South Hobart. And again, just basic passing from the back. Olympia have put the press on. They've turned the ball over, and then when Olympia have had the ball, they've cut through them like the knife through butter, really. It's been far too easy. They've not really had to work particularly hard for their goals. It's just been very basic errors, and they've just looked a far better side. And you're going to wonder, has this finals choker tag just become a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy for the Zebras? Yeah,
it looks that way. Choker's going to choke. That's what it looks like at the moment. I hope that's not the case for Zebras. I hope they fight back into this, especially considering I tipped them. But Olympia far too good early on, and I think the big Dwayne pipes had a bit to do on this side, and maybe he's just being shown up defensively a little bit.
I think the whole back four has. I think the whole back four's been dead ordinary so far. He's going to have to bomb forward a bit here, and he's now playing like the number on his back. He's got into a good position, but Engels won't be able to find him. As Luke Isles was there, just shut him down.
Tremendous work from Luke Isles.
Interesting to see Engels has shifted flanks here onto the right. And that'll be a real good battle with him and Isles. But
my thought process there would be that he couldn't get near it with Isles there, to be honest. And maybe they think Engels is better served dealing with Isles.
Maybe.
Throw comes down the line, flicked on from Meredith. It's picked up by Buele. Big guy. Threads the needle, finds Sherman, drops it back. For Engels inside for Hay. Can he find time and space to shoot? He does, but it's a very tame effort. Straight into the arms of Lewis, who's with a rare shank off the boot of Lewis. Who picked up by Toghill with ease. Back will go to Fag. Doesn't stroll too far into the opposite half. He goes for Muller, who gives and goes. Hay, it's the switch for Toghill, but can only find Hoy. And they're away here, Olympia. It's a delightful ball from Hoy, but it's asking a bit from Sekiris. They're at the races here, and it's Dwayne Walsh who just watches it out of play. Good chase from Sekiris, though. 34 minutes gone now, Drewster. Throw coming in from Walsh, back from Hay. So looking a little bit better, the Zebras, but just quite the deficit to reel in. They've really got to chase this game. And switched out to the left to Toghill. He has to go back to retrieve it, so they lose some momentum. Buele now. And it's Fag. Looks down the line. We find Sherman, who's been pretty good. Nudges centrally, and it's a foul against Nichols. He's got a little bit too much of McEwen, I think it was, on that occasion.
Fair to say he's not particularly pleased with the decision.
He was absolutely filthy, wasn't he, Drewster? Geez, there's a fair bit for Zebras to do to get this back.
You feel they need one before half
yeah,
time.
Absolutely.
They've got to get something in this last 10 minutes. If they can get one, maybe they get a bit of momentum. And, we saw last week Olympia scored twice in 4 minutes. Goals can come quickly, and whilst at 3-0, it's certainly not game over. You'd be a lot more confident if they could conjure something here. Here's a chance. Sunday getting onto his left, cuts back onto his right, but he turned back into trouble. And in the end,
handled
used
it,
the hand in the process. And again, that attack is thwarted.
Didn't mind the idea from McEwen. He just
uses the hand.
Accidentally tapped it with the right juke.
And he's pretty well surrounded anyway, but
he was in a fair Olympia sandwich.
Lewis thumping this one forward. Wadawa in a bit of space. It's floated over his head though. Just a bit too much pepper on that one. The wind maybe getting up and taking a hold of it. There's a slight breeze here. Nothing too bad. Perfect conditions. As the throw comes in the Ingles direction, he's got Isles very tight on him and they work him over, and Wadawa gets it to Sekiris, who's been really impressive so far on this one. There's a bit of a scramble, and in the end decided to leave it for right, and I think Wadawa's clipped a little bit of the Scotsman there.
Yeah,
the referee will reach into his pocket and pull out the first slice of cheese of the day.
And this is a recurring theme from Wadawa. He likes to leave a bit on the keeper. You'll watch it here. No need. He could have done more, is all I'm saying. And he's left a piece on Graham Wright, and it's a recurring theme. He's done it before, and Wright came up and was far from pleased with the treatment. Slice of cheese from Wadawa. Another one that loves a slice.
He is a common offender. He's certainly in what I like to call the Marouane Fellaini the club. Just loving a slice of cheese. And put him, Dogger Brown.
Yeah.
What else have we got?
Nathan Bartlett. He might go in with a red. He loves them.
There's a few who love him, and while he gets treatment, the Zebras will take advantage of this to just huddle up, and we'll give some instructions. And fair to say, he's got a bit to say. There's a lot of finger pointing going on there. Been an absolute mess so far. Over 36 minutes, and
a lot of really bemused faces, wondering what the hell's going on right now. Because they're in a spot of bother, the Zebras. They came in. They weren't favourites. Olympia was still favourite, but we both tipped the Zebras, and on the run of form, it seemed like a fair tip.
Yeah,
we look like right idiots right now.
We do. You shouldn't have doubted the champions. They've perhaps brought in to the momentum height, and
they're playing like a champion team, aren't they? Really,
they are.
You know, one soldier out, another one comes in, and just done jobs.
Well, they're very lucky in a way to be here. Some controversy in that win last week. They snuck on in. But no doubt about this performance and result. If it remains this way so far, they've just completely outclassed the Zebs. And last time they met, it was a 2-1 result for the Zebras, and they looked a very good team that day. And it's not been the case. Today they've just been a little bit shell-shocked. They've not dealt with the occasion, perhaps, as Fag will lob this one forward to Sherman, but Van der May did well just to force him backwards and retreat back to Fag, who plays centrally. Here's Sunday, who's just nipping into the channels. That's a lovely ball to Walsh. Can he get some space down this right-hand side and pick out a target? He's got a few aim for cuts inside. His touch was a bit heavy, though. Well defended. It'll fall back to Muller, who lobs one into the area. Lewis will come out and claim. It was over hit from Muller. He had a few to pick out and just needed better delivery there.
Yeah, he did. He did indeed. Zebras just looking a little lost for ideas when moving forward, which wasn't the case last weekend. There's a pump forward from Lewis, one in the air by Fag, nudges forward, Hay and Nichols contend for it.
Grab a little bit of his shirt there.
Foul against Hay, and I reckon that's a great decision from Charlie White. Nichols for me's been unreal really in the middle of the park, been tremendous.
Clearly the standout player, done it all.
And he's been playing centre half for most of the year. As it comes through, it would have been some goal if Sekiris had got connection with a little flicked effort. See it again from Woolley. You see Sekiris. Whoop. Almost. Geez, it would have been goal of the century if he got that one in.
Zlatan-esque if he pulls that one off, but didn't get near it in the end. He just lost his footing and just flung the boot at it, but got nowhere near.
He's had a good half though, Sekiris. Nichols now looks to steal and race away, but it's picked up by Toghill. Play back for his defence. Just looking to cool their jets now, the Zebras. Long they go from Fag to Sherman out on the left. A runner in Toghill. He'll drop it back in for Sherman. So Callan for company. He uses Callan to milk a throw in for the Zebras. So they press on into the front third. Ingles over. And I tell you what, Ingles can unleash a long throw, so this might be the option on this occasion. They need to pick one back, Drew, so I think if there's any chance in this contest, they need one from before half time as Ingles uncorks the genie into the box, top of the 6. It's there. It's headed by Nichols, back in through Muller, back out through Nichols, and away they go. DiMartino. Harrison ahead of Sekiris. Gets a high ball going Sherman's way. He nudges in the path of Ingles. He flashes a shot or a cross. Take your pick, but it goes wide and out to the right.
So, yeah, some good centre forward work there from Sherman. He bustled and got the header and released Engels, but his contact just wide of the mark. Some better signs in the last few minutes from Zebras. They appear to have settled, but they've coughed up a 3-goal lead beforehand, so it's going to be very tough for them. But if they can pull one back before half-time, you give them some chance. And certainly a long shot from here, though, as this one is just left by Walsh. Just wisely letting it run out of play as we tick past 40 minutes. Wait for the ball here, we see immediately Olympia, bodies forward, putting the press on. They have not let them pass their way out from the back. They've disrupted them well and sort of forced them to play a bit more direct. Throw in the Hay direction, floats over his head. Move forward the direction of Sekiris. Doing some lovely work. Turn nicely with Dawu chipping into the channel. Oh, lovely touch from the lettuce farmer. And he's drawn the foul in the process against Guy Buelle, I think, off the ball maybe.
Well, they're not happy with it.
He's surprised. We'll have a look at the replay here, and it was not against
Can't
Buelle.
be that one, surely.
It was against Fag.
I tell you what.
Yeah, he's given it against Fag for a bit of incidental contact, I thought.
Well, they had plenty to say for someone that was about 4 metres away.
He was just arguing the case. I thought it must have been off the ball because I didn't see anything in the play that looked
exactly right.
very generous, and a chance for maybe Gavin Hoy to curl one here. It might just be a little bit too close. You generally prefer them a few yards back just so you can get it up and over the wall. Be a tough effort to bring it back down again from here, but we know the Canadian midfield maestro more than capable. Manny Sekiris also, with his confidence and his tail up, might fancy just driving it, and he fakes it, and Hoy will curl one straight to the wall, straight to the chest of the Dwayne pipe.
What a great camera angle our one was there.
Hoy back towards Dawu. He plays a fancy little back heel. Hoy looking to get in behind a Buelle, but the Cameroonian was composed in defence and they clear it. But Isles plays it back to DiMartino. He's with Dawu looking to feed in the lettuce farmer, who lets flow with a pretty tame effort. Yeah, no threat to the goal of right there.
He scuffed that one, wet lettuce leaf that time as it's thrown out. Down the line from Tog Hill to Engels and back again. It was funny, the camera angle we had for the free kick. The shimmy and the shake from Sekiris worked a treat. All jumped up. It's Engels down the line for Tog Hill. He's got Woolley for company. He tries to move it inside, does well. Shifts it to Muller. He lets it run for Buelle. Back now for Tog Hill. Try and thread the needle and find Sherman, who does well. Good body work. It's a penalty! A lifeline here for the Zebras. Just what the doctor ordered. 43 minutes gone. Penalty. And will it be Adam McEwen to step up is the golden question. 2 weeks ago, 2 penalties. He missed both of them. Jaden Hayes gone. Sunday McEwen, go away, mate. Get out of here. To be honest, in real time, I didn't just quite pick up the replay then, but it looked a penalty.
It did. It's just one of those ones where it's not really a direct threat on goal. So, well drawn by Sherman, you have to say.
Yeah.
He turned him nicely. It seems rather innocuous, not a lot in it. Hay to step up and give them a lifeline. He does just that.
Great penalty.
Very composed finish from Hay. And just before half-time, they get that goal that we suggest they needed, and it might just breathe a bit more life into this contest.
That's what the game needed, Drewster, because Olympia were looking to bolt away there. I tell you what, tremendous penalty. Keep Hay on the spot. Sunday McEwen, you're not getting your job back, which might mean his goal tally will suffer next season, but look at this. Sean Lewis went the right way, but no stopping that from Jaden Hay.
Can't hit a penalty better than that. That's pretty much gone to the side netting. And very tough one. Very nicely hit by Hay in 3-1. Still a mountain to climb, but they've taken those first steps. They'd hate to go immediately back down, though, as Olympia looked to shift it forward again. But 3-1, some hope, and Sherman doing really well. He's fought hard. He's had very little service, but he's earned his team a penalty there. And he's been pretty good. He's been one of the few bright spots, I reckon, in this first half.
100% agree. I think every time it's gone to him, he's done well. Been very combative as it's from Muller to McEwen and back to Walsh. It's funny what a goal does to a ball game. And this for the Zebras might just really breathe some life into them. It's shifted from Sherman out wide from Muller. He can't control. It's out of play once more. Throwing now for Isles. 3-1 to the Warriors now. So a lifeline for the Zebras. Down the line it goes. Meredith uses his body to outwork Buelle.
Made sure the ref saw that one. The guy Buelle made the most of it.
Yeah, he did milk it. Jeez, he's got running a loud setup down below with the wheels, old Buelle, the purple numbers. 2 additional minutes in this, as signalled by Brenton Copra. 2 additional minutes. So look to race away. It's Dwayne Walsh who's doing a bit more work in advanced areas. Nichols picks it up. Wants to pick out a pass. Finds with Dawu. Oh, exemplary work there from the midfield maestro. Nipped in from Wadawu. He curls one over the back stick. No one home. Graham Wright takes it gleefully.
2 minutes of added time, so 90 seconds or so here for the Zebras to work with. They get it forward. Hay with a nice crisp ball out there to Sunday. He'll lay it back. For Hay, who seems to be playing right back for the time being. Covering Walsh, who's bombing on down that right wing. They've just changed it up a little bit. Here is Harrison. Plays it forward. Sunday did really well to keep a hold of that ball on the ground. Now he surges forward. Sherman wants it. Laid it off for him. Doesn't have a lot of support though. Holds onto it nicely. And in the end, didn't see the lettuce farmer just coming in from behind, and he robbed him of it. Oh, Wadawa's got Hoy and Akers if he can pick him out. Just sold it a little bit short, and getting across the cover well was Fag.
Yeah, that was
he did really well, the captain.
Read that well, Fag. As Nichols overshoots the ball into the front third. Right away, this the work from Fag just to pick it out. You could see his vision from before. He made the run at the perfect time, and otherwise it would have spelled real danger for the Zebras. As it comes long now for Sherman. He's hustling and bustling as he always does. Callan cuts it off, but only for Tog Hill. He races the other way. The black and white. Oh, he gets through a couple, but he can't beat Callan in the finish. He steals it back for the Warriors, and Buelle comes across to cut off Hoy. It'll be a throw in for the Warriors.
So dying embers in the first half, all well read there by Fag. It'll come out to Wadawa. He's touched a little heavy, but then got behind Dwayne Walsh with a lovely move and looked to chip it in towards Securius, but Tyler Harrison was across to cover. Didn't clear it convincingly though. One last chance here for Luke Isles. Feeds it back into Wadawa, who's been electric down this wing. He dummies. Plays it back to Isles. Isles cuts inside onto his non-preferred, but he's going to curl one anyway. Right, fumbles it a bit. Securius in the battle, trying to whip it back round. A bit of a cry there for a penalty. In the end, nothing doing, and that will probably take us to half-time. Exciting into the half here. There's a teasing little curler, and Wright really made a bit of a mess of that one. So we have a look. Did he have a shout for a penalty? His half-time is blown. Little bit of contact there from Wright. Securius certainly made the most of it. It would have been a soft one, but Wright just needs to be a little bit careful with that one. But the whistle has blown. 3-1 at half-time. Olympia stamping their authority in this contest early before a late Jaden Hay penalty. Breathed a little bit of life into this contest. It's still a fair old mountain for the Zebras to climb, but you give them some chance heading into the second half now, Gilly.
Give them some chance indeed, but I think changes still need to be made for the Zebras. That goal was fortuitous. They haven't crafted much, and I think midfield's the place they're going to make a change, and I think Harrison Thomas needs to be injected into the contest. He's had an up and down time at Zebras, but his up's very good, and I think you need to call upon him in a Victory Cup final, and maybe he can get something going. He's a creative force. I'm not sure exactly who will see sacrifice for him, but I think he needs to come on. As we see the highlights from the first half of action, it was a dynamic one from Olympia. This is down at ground level. Big Dom down there doing the magic on the camera. The in-your-face action, and there's a foul against Big Nichols. For me, let's get into the plays of the first half, Drewster. And for me, can't look further than Nichols. I think he's been tremendous.
Don't know further. He's run the show. He's been outstanding, and he's been ably supported by the lettuce farmer in midfield. He's had one of the better games I've seen him play this season, the lettuce farmer. He's had a real impact on this contest. They've really owned the midfield. Gavin Hoy's been flashy as per usual. We see this cross just wasn't dealt with, just not dealt with at all. And at the back post, Big Sherman just beaten to it by Vandermeer.
Sent it sailing into the top of the goal.
Should have been dealt with before though. Went through a sea of legs.
Do you reckon he loved it?
Oh, didn't mind putting his team up, the captain. He was up and about.
Absolutely lost the plot. Big
moment there. That was early on in this contest, and it was soon to be doubled. They didn't respond well to the goal, Zebras. They certainly looked a little bit shell-shocked by it, and it only got worse. Some nice work. But yeah, the best players we're talking about, as we said, in midfield, Nichols and Meredith been outstanding. Securius has done an absolute mountain of work up top. He's taken a very nice goal. He's had other moments. It's hard to fault too many in the Olympia side, but certainly I think those three have been the real sounds. Look at that assist from Nichols. Fancy footwork, slid it into the lettuce farmer.
Really
Get
good
around me,
finish from
boys, he
Meredith.
says. And 2-zip it was. The Zebras, Sherman's battled hard. Walsh has fought back into this contest trying to get down the right, but there haven't been a lot of winners across the park for them. Wright's made a couple of saves, and he's had to.
Look at this from Meredith through traffic. Great assist.
A goal and an assist. He's been great.
Yeah, really, really good finish from Sekiris as well. He's been great. And we've seen not a lot of chances for Zebras in this highlights package, and Lewis has been good under the high ball. It's going to be a real tough one for the Zebras. As you said, a lot of winners for Olympia. I think both the players on the flanks have been tremendous, with Darwin there in the action. I think Hoy's been great on the other side. Meredith, Nichols, their defence has been strong and disciplined. I think in particular, Isles and Woolley have done well, as we see. Wright, great save to deny Sekiris. Hay with a tame shot there for Lewis. I think Isles has really clamped down. So you've seen the likes of Engels and McEwen get very little of the pill to begin with, and when they've had it, they've had someone with them most of the time. You see Wadawi leave a little bit on Graham right there. He wasn't too happy with it. And they kept posing questions, the Warriors. I think they're glad to be back on the KG5 because it definitely suits their game a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Up on the boggy pitch that is Alinda Grove. They couldn't get their game going, but they certainly have today, despite being undermanned. Moons and Shea Hickey in the shed, who, to be honest, have been integral in setting up their league season, as we see the penalty awarded there. Sherman brought down, and Hay, perfect penalty.
Yeah, Lewis guessing the right way, or might have even read the eyes. He certainly left it late, but couldn't get there. And this at the end, dangerous moment there from Wright. That just would have undone the lifeline that they'd found with that late goal if it had gone to 4-1. And as it is, it's going to be tough enough to overcome a 2-goal deficit. They showed a few signs in the last 10 minutes of finally getting a bit of an even footing in the game, but Olympia playing with a lead. You'd imagine Zebras are only going to throw more bodies forward, and when you've got the likes of Hoy and Wadawu, speedy players down the flank, they might find a bit of space to their liking in the second half, and it's certainly going to be a very tough ask to stop Olympia from scoring further.
Yeah, 100% agree, Drewster. Half of football for Zebras to try and rein this in. You Chris Hay. Yeah, I'm putting you in Chris Hay's position. We'll give you a quick head shave and a bit of a change of look, and maybe give you a policeman's badge. Now, you've got a lot to do here. What are you going to do? It's 3-1 to Olympia. You've got to chase the game. No, tomorrow it's a cup final.
I'll consult my team sheet and have a look who he's got on the bench.
Right, okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, Harrison Thomas is probably one who's definitely coming on.
Okay.
And
before you get on anything structurally, first of all, are you happy with the formation, or do you go with two up top and maybe put McEwen right beside Sherman? Will that work better for them?
That's certainly one option he's got. They started to look a little bit better as the half wore on. As we have a look, who's he got on the bench? Pretty young bench. Yeah, Warren. I don't think he'll make any immediate shifts at the break. Look, I love Jordan Muller's game last week, but I think he's been a bit overwhelmed in midfield today, and I think maybe bringing Thomas on for him would be the change I'd make.
Yep.
It's a tough one for him, of course.
Yeah.
We're just consulting with our guru Ash just to show you what they do. In fact, have on the bench here.
Yeah, he's going to bring the lineups up so we can talk through it.
There we go. Matthew Pace is an option they've got. Structurally, like Sherman's going to remain centrally. Maybe switching to a back three is an option they've got up their sleeve, and Dwayne Walsh can push on. Like, he's already playing in very advanced positions, which is why I'm perhaps hesitant to say they changed structure completely. We saw a lot as the half wore on. Jaden Hay was dropping back to cover him as he went on. Whilst Hay is very confident in that role, I think he's too important in an attacking sense. I think he needs to stay forwards. I think he was dropping back deep to cover too often. He needs to be involved in their attacking movements because he's such a key player for them. I would be saying someone else needs to form that role. Maybe it's Muller who's got to be the one who's dropping off. Jaden needs to be playing because he's a danger from outside the area. He's got a good long-range shot. He draws defenders. That'll free up space for the likes of Engels. So that's one change that I would suggest I'd like to see. I'd like to see him more involved in an attacking sense. But obviously, you've got to win the ball first. And how do you stop Lockie Nichols is the big question, because he's just run his own show.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I'd like to see McEwen maybe closer to Sherman and not so wide. I think McEwen, to be honest, is being battered out on the flanks. He's not a winger. It's not his natural go. So I think that's somewhere where they can maybe shift things and change it up and maybe worry Olympia a little bit. In terms of the bench, Harrison Thomas, the obvious one. Outside of that, Luke Warrener. And I don't see Trent Pearce or Matthew Pace being great game changers, but I think that Luke Warrener and Harrison Thomas are the ones that are likely to. But yet again, Warrener's a winger, so
well, they've got their best 11 on the pitch is the thing. They've
Yeah.
got their 11 best players out there.
yeah.
So I think if you're Hay, to a certain extent, you've got to back in the players out there to get it done. They're a team who we saw against South Hobart. Their last 20 minutes of the first half last week, similar to the first 20 minutes here, except South Hobart couldn't put them away because they defended a lot better. They came out there in the second half, same players, played a lot better football.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what they'll be hoping for in this one, because if they don't, they're in big strife, and it's a cup final. There's no tomorrow. There's no chance to redeem. That's it. Olympia, I don't think they need to change anything. They've got a few in reserve there, but mostly defensive players, which is interesting. You might see a Griffiths come on and then Isles pushed on. But to be honest, they would play the same 11 the way they're going. They're absolutely flying.
Isles hasn't put a foot wrong in defence. That's obviously, I suppose, a logical change. I suppose you could do that as the players are just about to come back out for the second half. Has anything changed? We'll say 3-1 the lead to the Warriors. It's going to take some serious work from the Zebras. They've been comfortably second best throughout. And 45 more minutes before the treble for this superb Warriors side, and they'll head off to the National Premier League in a very buoyant and confident mood if they can play another 45 minutes like that.
Yeah, if they can close this out, it's just the perfect run-in to a massive game against South Melbourne at Lakeside Stadium next weekend. We won't be over there, Drewster, but I know I'll be sitting in my lounge room watching the stream from FFV. I don't think they'll get quite as good coverage as we do here with the great Ash beside us, but they'll get somewhere near it and we'll watch it. And
they'll try.
They'll try. But yeah, it's the perfect approach. They've had a hard game against Northern Rangers. They've had a hard game against University where they had to really grit, show determination and valour. And then today, they've really got their game going, and against another formidable opponent in the Zebras. So it'd be the perfect approach, and if they can close it out, they'll be looking cherry ripe for the big challenge that is South Melbourne, one of the biggest clubs outside the A-League.
I reckon you can tell how confident a team is a lot of the time based on how early they come out of the rooms. There's no sign of Zebras. The kids are still playing half-time entertainment here, and the Olympia boys are back out in the pitch and ready to go. They are just flying. McNeil wouldn't have had a lot to say, I reckon. It would have been just keep doing what you're doing, boys. It's as good a 45 as they've played in some time. And that despite missing some key movers. Obviously, Gustafson's left. No Mearns, no Hickey, no Alex Holmes. No worries as far as this Olympia side is concerned. The players who maybe we thought the question marks, are they as good as the replacement level? Di Martino's been very solid in midfield. Jack Callan, never seen him play centre-back before, but geez, he's been very solid down there.
He's been great, to be honest. I think he may have given away the foul for the penalty. His only real blemish. No, it wasn't. No, well, we might have to see a replay on that. I thought it was him, but it might have been Jake Vandermeer. But as a defensive pairing, they've been solid, been very solid. Di Martino, he hasn't had to do a lot in there, but he's done it okay. The real magic in the middle has been Meredith and Nichols.
Has been one.
Yeah, the big lettuce farmer has just been superb. It's really bolting forward with purpose, and this is his last year at Olympia. He's going to retire. He'll probably go play Div 3 or 4 and have a kick around like most of the old Olympia boys seem to do, but he's going to bow out in great fashion if they can win today.
I thought he had a tough time of it last week up against Uni. Didn't think it was his best game. Thought he struggled in that one, but geez, he's bounced back in some way today, the lettuce farmer. As the referees now just about ready to get things going. So Olympia have come out a good 5 minutes ahead when they've had to. just showing how confident they are. No need to change. Let's just get back out there and keep this going, they say. As Chris Hay just keeping his charges locked in, and I can imagine the hairdryer might have come out. And I reckon he'd have some fairly stern words for his charges. So it was a very disappointing 45 minutes from them.
They might be lucky, and Chris Hay might not own a hairdryer because he's bald, but I'm sure he sourced one from somewhere and really given them quite the treatment, because it was, especially once the first goal went in, that next 10 to 15 minutes was fairly insipid stuff from the Zebras. Went into their shell. We're not the Zebras we saw last week, that's for sure. And a lot of work to do still in this contest. A good lifeline on the edge of the half. Well taken penalty from Jaden Hay. I would have thought 3-0 at half time there, no hope. I give them some slim possibility in clawing back from this deficit at a half time.
You give them some hope. If they can get another one, it gets back to 3-2. Suddenly, mentally, it starts to trouble this Warriors side. You're thinking, oh, we're not going to let this slip. We had a 3-goal lead. It can start playing on you, but still very, very, very warm favourites from this point on would be the Warriors. It's hard to see them losing. They've been that much better than them, but football's a funny game. We've seen many a side in cup games come back from deficits, and Warriors themselves proof of that last week. 4-2 down with 4 minutes to go and somehow conjured up the goals they needed to win. The cup does toss up funny results like that. You can never write them off, as I foolishly did last week, so I certainly won't be calling this game over until it's a good 5 or 6 goal lead, Damo.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. Don't think either team's made a change, but there's been a referee change. Brenton Copra's strolling out as a linesman now, and Jimmy Horder will have the board. Maybe tweak something running a line. I don't even know how you do that, but anyway.
So the only changes come with the refs.
Yeah, exactly right. Zebras coming out unchanged. Back four still the same.
Structurally, they look the same.
Maybe we'll see Jaden Hay bomb on into more advanced positions.
Yeah, maybe they've gone a bit of a 4-2-2-2 with Hay playing as more of that advanced striker role. McEwen and Engels out wide, and I did say I wanted to see him bombing up in more attacking positions than we saw him, and that might be the case. This one's lob forward towards Hoy, but T-Pain Tolga was there to win that one as the lettuce farmer battling on. That's surely handball against Hoy. Play on, says the ref. I'm not sure how he missed that one anyway. Here's Hoy. Sets himself and plays a dangerous ball towards Sekiris. Stepped over it. Shapes to shoot, but it's straight out right, and he'll comfortably deal with that. He's brimming with confidence, is Sekiris. A long bomb of a ball there from right onto the head of Sherman, flicking on. Engels looking to run onto it, but that's easy pickings there for Sean Lewis, who's, as usual, looked very assured in goal today. The number one custodian there has had a fine season, obviously injured and missed a bit, and we saw Spiro Paradisus deputising in very impressive fashion for him while he was out injured, but really one of the best keepers in the league, Lewis, and you do feel more confident when he's back there in goals. Van der May chipping this one forward for Darwin to run on. He's got him behind Walsh here. He's having a battle to recover and just cynically hacks him down. I think he might get a slice of cheese here. No, he's been let off the hook. Did seem rather crude professional foul to me, but the referee lets him off, and it'll just be the free kick, and Luke Isles wandering over to support Wadawi back to his feet, so he seems to be alright, but hacking him down there, and given he got away without a booking, you'd say he's done well there, Walsh. They've got to survive this one though. Luke Isles standing over it. Chips it into the back post and headed just wide. It was Nichols. It wasn't far away. An early strike here would really just about bury them. He's not too far off there, Lockie Nichols. Got a piece of it and just drifted wide. That would have been a real decisive blow. Here's Hay, dropping deep to receive. Plays it forward for Walsh, who's bombing on, but Van der May's across to cover that one. He'll play it back to Lewis. Lobs it in the Wadawu direction, but Hay across to cover.
Lovely day for football. Drewster has eventually spit that out. Real sun-soaked hallowed plastic that is KG5 Football Park. 48 minutes gone now. Olympia in the driver's seat. Zebras with it all to do as it comes down the line. Picked up from Wadawi. Back he goes. It's DiMartino who nudges down the line. Asks a bit of Sekiris. He might just get onto it. No, it's Fag who nudges into the arms of Wright. And Zebras might mount an attack here. It's Fag. Centrally to Muller. Out wide to Toghill. Down it goes. He finds Angles who does well. Turns it back into Muller. One by Sherman. He hustles and bustles. Has to go back though and finds Fag. He goes along with his ball. It's off the chest of Hay. Nudges us out for Walsh. He's got Isles to deal with, and that's a tough man to beat, is Lukey Isles, and he sees it out.
Does well in the end to get the throw in a good position. We might see the long throw again. Zebras have certainly not been shy about heaving them into the area. They'll opt to go short to Sunday this time. He's got Wadawi to deal with, who closed him down well on Walsh. The pretty poor cross in the end. Sherman not particularly pleased, suggesting could have just gone near post, and the delivery hasn't been great from Zebras when they have had the opportunities from wide areas. You've got to give credit to the Olympia defence for closing them down and harassing them. They've had very little time on the ball today, the Zebras players. An impressive job, but the end product needs to be better if they're going to get back into this one. Meredith flicks on for Wadawu and falls for him. He tries the lob through ball, but it'll go straight through to right. No problems there. He gets things moving quickly to Henry Fag. He looks up. A few people presenting for him. Muller very short. In the end, that's easily closed down by Nichols. And it's not just his offensive work today, Lockie Nichols. His defensive work's been good too. He's snuffed down a number of attacks. Of course, he'd been playing as a centre half recently, obviously until the Holmes injury. He kind of slotted in. He was in China for the first half of the season. Came in, played a bit of midfield. Van der May was trying it right back. They've really shifted things around quite a bit, McNeil. He's tinkered with the lineup a lot. The players have played in a number of positions, but I do think he does his best work in the middle of the park, and we've seen that today.
Yeah, it adds, I guess, a little extra element next week. What are they going to run with up against South Melbourne? It might be Nichols, and it might be Hay and Hickey and Mearns rather, and you might see Hoy play wide.
Isles at left back might suggest that. That might be why we're seeing it here, preparing it. Hoy and Wadawi wide, and a Nichols, Mearns, Hickey midfield. I'd like to see that.
It would be good to see. Asking a bit of Callan though up against South Melbourne, but so far he's been pretty good as Woolley plays long. It's won by Fag, down for Ingles. Can't bring it under his spell. It's Nichols who finds Woolley, and they all collide, and it's Toghill who rises highest and wins it. And I like that from White, that he let that go, because there was no foul in that.
No.
It was eyes for the ball, and to be honest, Hoy was the only one that didn't want it. And Hoy now on it. Chips it out onto the left, over the head of Sekiris, but Wadawi will track it down. He's got Walsh for company. He puts it into the top of the D. It's won well by Bwele. Spins out of trouble and finds Walsh. So nice bit of work from the Cameroonian.
Yeah, broke that attack up nicely. It was looking dangerous. The lettuce farmer in advanced positions. Hay plays it back. Tyler Harrison hasn't quite been as good as he was last week. His colours lowered a little bit. Man of the match last week. Here's Muller. Again, it's immediately passed backwards to Fag. He was shifted across to Harrison. They look to change the direction here. Nothing really on offer, so he just goes the long hoof forward. Engels, can he get in behind Woolley here? Looming large, and I think that'll be an Olympia throw in the end. And it is. So well done there by Harry Woolley. Late season form has impressed. Down the line, won by Toghill. Muller, here's Sherman, battling with Callan. Turning, he's absolutely surrounded here, just blue shirts everywhere, and he couldn't find his pass in the end. Here's Nichols, just dwelling on the ball, plenty of time. Goes back to Van der May. He'll just thump this one forward. No one in particular, but the header from Fag was a poor one. It went straight to the lettuce farmer. Sakiris now bursting through. Oh, scything through them. Sakiris one-on-one with Harrison. Oh, across the cover where was Gill. Really good defence from the fullback. Danger not averse with Damian curls it. He wasn't far away from making it 4-1. Warren Wadawu.
That very nearly found a home in the top corner as we see it fly in right. Scrambling to get across. It would have been little he could do if it had just snuck in inside that right upright. Luckily, Zebra's escape. And Warriors press forward now. It's Nichols who wins it in the air. Fag down for Gill through to Muller. And Angles brings it in the air to Muller again. Does well to find Gill down the flank. Holds it back. Does well, puts it out in front of Engels. He crosses into the top of the 6, headed away from Vandermeer. Gill picks it up into the box. He bustles into Woolley, and it's a fairly soft foul against the fullback, but a foul nonetheless. This is judged by Charlie White. Free kick for the Warriors.
Can hear some very vocal support from Gill Senior over on the far side here. We're a long way away from him, but he's the most vocal supporter in Tasmania. This one's headed on there by Nichols. Hoy tries in vain to get to it and just scored it out of play by Fag. He'll launch this one long towards Sherman. Engels looking to overlap. They've done that nicely. Now can Engels pick out a target in the box? He's got Sunday. He's now got Sherman too, but he succeeds only in playing it directly to Lewis, and the crosses into the area just haven't been of a good quality today. And Lewis will take his time here and just drop it on the deck. Sherman immediately pressures him, so he quickly launches it forward. Straight to Fag. He'll lob it over the top to Gill. Gill back to Fag. Again, it's pretty direct stuff we're seeing now, and I don't mind it. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Sherman to be the man to provide those flicks like we just saw for his wide men. Sakiris overrunning that one, and Harrison quickly dealing with it, plays it back to right. I don't think he's going to follow the advice of the crowd and pick it up. That would be a curious move from an experienced keeper. Harrison to Boilet. Plays it in short for Hay. Back to Boilet. It's stagnant, but they're keeping hold of the ball. Now can they find something forward? Gill's looking to overlap. Engels turns into a nice little pocket of space here. His pass was pretty errant though. Walsh was bombing on, he had to double back. That's a good cross though to Sunday McEwen. They flashed it just over the top, but that was better. It was patient build up. They worked their way through it, and eventually, despite the ball being played behind Walsh, he still had plenty of time to pick out a cross, and that's the area where the crosses have got to hit. And it wasn't too far away from Sunday, but he's always fighting an uphill battle against a couple of physical centre halves there.
Nice delivery in from Walsh on that occasion. McEwen just couldn't get it down enough to sneak in. And it takes a fair bit to beat a quality Gloverman and Lewis. Nichols now in midfield. Bustles around. It's won by Hay, and they might be away here, the Zebras. It's a bit of a shocking ball from McEwen, but Engels picks it up anyway. Flashes an early strike wide to the left. Just fizzes by the left upright. So a goal kick now. Zebras still chasing this game. It's long from Lewis. It's Fag who wins away from Meredith. It's in congestion. It's Woolley who wins. Boyle a bit tentative on it. And Olympia take the ball through Meredith. Out for Hoy. He can't control. It's a heavy touch off his boot now to play. So a throw in. Gill. Down the line. Sherman on it. Runs into a teammate. One from Olympia and Nichols. You give and go and race away here. Little turn out to the left. He finds Isles out in front of Wadawa. He takes a touch. He's got Tol Harrison to contend with. He fancies himself. Nips it inside. All black and white. They see clear through Fag. But straight. The opposing skipper in Vandermeer, who finds Nichols out to Isles, who's bombed on a little bit. He'll try some magic on that left-hand side. He clatters it straight into what looked to be the hand of Dwayne Walsh, but play goes on. It's back through Nichols. Back for Isles. He puts it into the box. He overshoots that one. It's onto the hill over the back. Well-populated hill, which is the nice weather we're experiencing here at KG5.
Beautiful day to come to the football. Sit on the hill and watch an entertaining contest, but one that has Olympia firmly on top as we approach the hour mark. Sebs have looked a bit better this half, but not saying much because they certainly didn't need to put in much effort to be better than that first half an hour. Utterly diabolical, and Olympia absolutely put them to the sword there. Playing catch up now on Engels. Certainly the man you feel is the one to spark them back into this. He's going to be fed the ball an awful lot. He's got the throw in here. He goes directly into the box to Sherman. Can he turn? He might just work something. He's played it back. Good work from Sherman. McEwen now. They're careful not to foul back to Muller. Oh, the pass had some fizz on it. And the referee has really burnt them here. They were looking dangerous, but now it's Olympia who can break. As this one will float over the top, and thankfully it won't hurt them on the counter. Fag is able to control it. Now here's Muller. Gets his head up. Here's Toghill. They're looking to really play down this flank a lot here. Jordan Muller looked to play it centrally, but that avenue was closed off pretty quickly. Toghill turns, plays it back to Fag. He'll change the direction of the attack, and Tyler Harrison on it. Back to Hay, who's doing a lot of work coming to receive the ball off the centre backs. McEwen gathering. Now Hay, he's got Toghill making a run down the left, and he's picked him out to perfection. His touch was poor though, Toghill, and you can see the reaction of the manager. He knows it was opening up there, but Toghill's touch really let him down.
Jeez, that could have been something for the Zebras. They're looking better, but without posing too many questions of Olympia back there, to be honest. It's more promising, though, as Boyle nudges to Muller. Back for Toghill. Back for Fag. He's got Sakiris looking to close him down. He goes long to Sherman. Sherman spins around onto the left, but gives it straight to Woolley. Sherman before, by the way, went close to the goal. That was amazing work from the big man. It's through to him again. He finds Engels from the byline, measure of ball. He's put a fair bit on it. Comes for Walsh. Horrible hit off his right boot. Still alive for them, or is it? No, it's out of play. Should have made more of that, the big Dwayne Pipe.
Yeah,
the big Pink Panther.
The big Pink Panther. Couldn't quite conjure anything from it. Again, promising build-up down this left-hand flank. Toghill's overlapping. Engels is becoming an increasing presence, and Sherman's, now that his team's getting forward, supporting him a bit more, yielding the dividends. That was pretty poor there from the big Dwayne Pipe. Not his finest moment. He's certainly going to find himself increasingly in the area as this half wears on. They continue to chase the game. He's an overly attacking fullback at the best of times, let alone when they're chasing it. Boyle dueling with the lettuce farmer and wins it in the end to Hay. He's now up against Nichols, and Nichols just escorts that out of play. It'll be a throw into Zebras. They get it moving quickly. Sherman up against Callan. I fancy Sherman here. He's turned around him, cut it back beautifully. Oh, desperate dive. Oh, he lost control of it in the end, Lewis, but lovely work from Sherman. He's becoming a real presence, and he's just starting to get the better of Callan. He's a bit too physical for him. They want to feed that match up, I reckon. Well, that's optimistic to say the least there, but Woolley showed a little bit of a lack of awareness there. His header was poor, and he's forced to clear it, and the Zebras starting to grow in confidence there. Starting to control the game a bit. A smart option to cut back. It was just off. And
Lewis was filthy, but I don't think McEwen actually did anything wrong. Yeah,
absolutely, all his undoing. Well refed in the end. They're starting to ask some questions here. They might not have manufactured the shots, but the playing around the area is looking promising. Short corner taken to Muller. He goes back post, but it's horribly overhit. He had two runners who were open, but it was poor from Muller.
Safe to say Sherman had a few choice words for him. Wasn't happy with the service. We see this again from Muller. It's the right ball, but it's just overstruck. And Sherman, as you can see, cutting a fairly frustrated figure. But Sherman twice now, he's almost produced something for Zebras. The first one, he shifted inside for McEwen. McEwen probably passed the wrong direction, should have gone out to Engels. And that one was just good, just that vital little touch from Olympia just to see it away from McEwen, but they're looking better here, the Zebras.
And he's looming large as Engels heads it back down to him. Those two are really linking up well. He plays it over the top. Woolley leads Engels. Well, he's booed up and they should be able to clear the danger. The bounce might favour Sherman though. Oh, lovely pass. Got it back to Engels. Now he looks to change it. Switch to Walsh. He sets up for an audacious volley. Turns into a pass to Sunday. Tries to bring it under his spell. Turns. The numbers. Horrible work clearance. No communication. And in the end they can hack it clear. But really 6s and 7s at the back there. And yeah, really sensing Zebras getting on top, and if they can take advantage and pull it back to 3-2, we'll have a real game on our hands.
They've got the ascendancy in the contest, that has to be said. Throw in now, down from Toghill, brought straight out from Woolley, but Olympia's defence just looking under the pump as it comes forward from Sherman, having a growing influence. It's just swatted away, more or less, by Vandermeer. One by Buele, who takes a tumble. Down for Hay, who finds Muller. Back for Buele. He finds Angles. Angles does well. Out on the left to find Toghill. First time cross. Oh, almost a shot, but it's a shocker over the top. The right idea, but the execution lacking again for the Zebras. Just got to start getting these balls on target.
Pretty good 20 minutes from Kurt Engels there, Gilly. He's really growing in influence. Every good move going forward they're having, he's been involved in. He's looming large. He's just got the better of Woolley at the moment. And he's cutting inside, providing support. He and Sherman are linking up very nicely, and they might do so again here. The flick on is played for him. Can he bring it under control? He's got two to deal with because Hoy was back, and he's just lacked the control there. They're quick to just hack it again, and it's really under siege at the moment. They're not looking the composed unit they were in the first half, Olympia. It's really completely done a 180. All of a sudden, it is the Zebras who are pressing them, forcing the turnovers from the back. And it's their midfield who are really controlling proceedings. Toghill with a lovely pass. Hay to Engels. Can he pick out a target in the box? It's Sunday, and it's over the top. But they are starting to loom large, the Zebras. They have all the impetus in this one. Can they make it count and get that second goal?
They'll be kicking themselves from that opening 20 minutes where more or less this game got away from them. Outside of that, they've been pretty good. They've been the better side in this second half. But yet again, got to get that ball on target. Ask questions of Lewis. Long it goes from Lewis. It's Buele who wins. He stayed down as Meredith rose. Down the line it goes, and it's Vandermeer first to it ahead of McEwen. He more or less kicks for touch, but it will stay in from Harrison. He's Scotsman, Graham Wright. They'll stroll it out of there. Pressure not quite where it was from Olympia. They'll see it out of defence. Isles into the back of McEwen and wins it, and wins well with the throw in. Down the line, he's got Wadawu offering. He finds him. He's found some space on Walsh. He looked to nip in here. Well, he does well. Oh, he beats a couple, puts it in. Black and white, win out. Oh, but then Hoy meets it with a venomous strike that rises and keeps rising. And unfortunately for the Warriors, rises over the bar. We'll see this again. It looked like they were going to clear. And then Hoy said, thank you, I'll have that. Whooshka.
That would have been some sort of goal.
Very nearly snuck in. Hoy very cheekily just pokes one into the net. Right, will have his goal kick again. So 66 minutes gone now, Drewster. A lot of work still for the Zebras to do. They need a goal and they need one quick smart as it comes down the line from Harrison. Walsh working hard. Vandermeer sees it out.
Yeah, they're playing good football at the moment though, the Zebras. McEwen's on if you can find him. He's got plenty of space to throw. Ball under control. He goes to the back post for Engels. Nods it back, but no one was there. Hay needed to be reading that, making the run just on different pages there. And Lewis again quickly gets it moving. Walsh breaks it up, but Wadawu got in there, and in the end he was rather cynically hacked down. And a slice of cheese there for Guy Buele. And Wadawu's caused some problems when he's been fed the ball all day, particularly in this half. He just hasn't had enough of it. A lot of it's just been long balls that have been easily broken up. If he can be fed the ball a little bit more often, he's certainly posed some problems, especially with Walsh really bombing on. There's plenty of space for him in behind, and I've liked him when he's run at the centre-backs today, Warren Wadawu. But Olympia will just slow things down and try and take a bit of the sting out of this one for the time being. Momentum all with the Zebras. They've just been unable to find that goal. If they get one, it'll certainly really build the confidence, and you wouldn't rule out a third. So huge next 10 minutes or so. They don't want to give them long if they do concede. Here's Lewis thumping it up the field. So Wadawu up against Walsh. Wadawu's control was good, got it to Meredith, turning with it. Lovely link-up play, the overlap of Isles now. He's got Sekiris in the middle. Harrison gets his boot to cover it, and right again, he's there. Engels wants the early ball played, and he's immediately played in that direction. And he'll win the header. He wins it back in the end, and it works out well for Muller. Engels wants it back, receives it. There's plenty of blue shirts across to deal with it, though, but they've done it well. Hay to Buele. Buele gets it moving. Oh, just waiting for the ball was McEwen, and Wadawi got in. Attacked the ball Sunday. Can't just wait on it there. Here's Lockie Nichols. His influence starting to wane a little bit. He's had to do a lot more defensive work this half. He's been allowed the time on the ball, and as he won the throw for his team, he has, but his influence is waning as Zebras have got on top. They've really been able to put the clamps on him. Isles with the throw in. 68.5 have ticked by here, so we're halfway through the second half. There's, not sure what the referee's saying here, but it'll be a Zebras ball. Flood forward again. Guy Bulle will take it. He'll just lay it. They'll play the quick 1-2. The Lotus Farmer there to press. And in the end, that is really poor from Tyler Harrison. He's just put it straight out of play. Uncharacteristic from him.
Yeah, it was strange. Almost looked like he meant to do it.
Very little pressure on him too.
So, kick on into 70 minutes. Time getting away from the Zebras. Olympia some 20 minutes away from what would be a very good way to finish a year of football. It'd be a treble, 2015 treble, and a good way to enter their encounter in the NPL final series. Buele tries to see it by Meredith. Meredith wins from Wadawu, puts it at the top of the 6, where it's only Graham Wright who meets it. And he'll take it for the Zebras. Out he goes to Engels, who meets it on halfway. It bobbles up, and now Hoy gets involved. Great control from the Canadian. Looks to zip away, but it's won well by Muller. Sweeps clear for Sherman, who's back a long way from goal to pick it up. Fag looks to switch it up. He's done it well for Walsh, who sits under a high ball, staring into the sunlight. Takes some contact from Isles, and it'll be a set piece from Zebras, and maybe this is where they can pick one back. Drewster.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate in the end from Walsh. His touch was far too heavy, and Vandermeer was able to cut it out, but a little bit of contact from Isles. Fag's got up, and he wants it played to the back post. Sunday McEwen. Oh, second chance. Oh, is there a handball against Vandermeer there? It was on the ground. It looked close. They just couldn't get it home. Another one of those almost moments in attack. They're growing increasingly regular occurrence. He has a chance here, and in the end, it was Vandermeer, and he's done well to avoid the handball. He goes bowling away at the other end. It's Wadawu surging forward, drove it straight at Wright, who stood tall and made a good save to Graham Wright.
Yeah, jeez, Adam McEwen, very little with the head, nearly fell for a shot. Lucky to escape Olympia. Questions being asked now from the Zebras. It's Walsh with a ball. Chips it ahead. Picked up from Vandermeer. Back he goes for Lewis. Drives long and strong. Fag wins. And Sekiris. Play goes on. I'm not sure what happened there. He's out on the left. Won by Engels. He puts it into the middle. It's Sherman who meets it. Drops it off of Muller, who overshoots the ball for Engels. There's been a fair bit of that from Muller and a fair bit of that from Hay.
Yeah, just overhitting the passes. I wonder if maybe with 20 minutes to go, a sub might be in the offing. Harrison Thomas perhaps the man. The 11, they're just not quite getting there. They're certainly controlling the contest, so I don't think he needs to change anything too much. I'm just going to hope that eventually one of these attacks is going to click. They've had a lot of almost moments in this half, and they're really on top of the contest. So far, Olympia holding solid. Hoy beat Muller to the ball, I thought.
Muller checked him.
In the end,
Got a little boot on him.
Gets the foul. Ref just confused me for a second, pointed the wrong way at first. I thought, how on earth is that a foul? As you see there, and yep, definitely Olympia's ball. The Vandermeer just chip it forward. They're not going to send too many players forward though, with a 2-goal lead and 20 to play. Just chip this one up towards Hoy. I'm not sure he's the aerial target, but he brought it down with his chest really well. Now looks to run at Toggill, and he's rather sickly hacked down. That's a certain slice of cheese for Toggill. Hoy had him beaten, and maybe not the worst foul to give away in the end by Toggill. He knew he was well beaten. He was about to surge into the box, so just said, I'm going to hack you down.
We were talking about that group of people that like the sausage cheese. Yeah, Toggill's in that.
He's a connoisseur of the cheese.
He does. We'll see this. This is... He did exactly what he wanted to here, Gill. He was gone for all money, and he just thought, I'll have you, and he did. So a set piece for the Warriors, somewhat against the flow of play. If they can, it'd be a real sucker punch if they could strike now. It'd be a sealer, you'd think. So Hoy over it. A few more Warriors pile into the box for this one. He gets it to the back stick. Hay very tentatively nudges it. It's picked up by Wright, and they're away now, the Zebras, as he throws it out in front of Walsh, calls for him to run. He finds McEwen, spins, and can't return the favour as it's straight into Vandermeer, and Warriors escape.
Tiles now, running at Hay, forced to retreat. In the end, well defended. Yeah, throw into the Zebs. Time ticking away here. They need to find this second goal pretty soon, you'd imagine. Sunday led to the ball there by Isles, and in the end, he pays the price for being second to the ball. He's going to go into the book. That slide, maybe a little, might be due to a number of fouls. I think there was heaps in it. He was late. But again, Olympia will just take their time with this. There'll be no hurry at all. They'll eat some more time off the clock.
Yeah, it's getting really hard now for the Zebras.
Yeah, after last week, I'm certainly not going to be calling this game over though. As Meredith is fouled by Boileau, who's got into his back. A little bit soft, but wins the reward for getting front position. Again, they will just eat up the clock, take the time, and this is suiting them. They're breaking up the game with fouls, it's slowing down, the tempo's gone, and that really frenetic pace that was being played out for a little bit there was helping the Zebras, and now this is absolutely playing into Olympia's hands. Chris
Hay far from happy with Charlie White on that occasion.
It did seem a little soft, I thought.
Yeah.
You've got to give the player from behind a chance to stand his ground at least. Anyway, he's secure, so he's just going to go whack straight to the wall. Pretty terrible free kick in truth. McEwen now cuts inside and waits for a bit of support. I'll shadow him all the way, and that's a horrible pass. 3 Olympia shirts there. It was really well defended, but poorly thought out. Wadawa's been electric in this second half. He looks to get in behind Welle. Just defended that beautifully and couldn't quite avoid the corner, but he's done well to shut down Wadawa. He's been a real live wire. He's probably been one of the players for Olympia who's consistently over the whole game been involved and been dangerous.
Look at that from Welle. Really well executed sliding tackle.
He's had a good game today, Welle.
Yeah, as I said to you, I think Welle's a good player to have in your team when you've got a lead. The issue is they're chasing this game. He hasn't done much wrong, don't get me wrong, but they need a real creator, and that's what their midfield's lacked today for mine, as it's come in from Hoy out to the back post. It's Woolley onto it, but wide with the head. Yeah, that's. I think their midfield, Hay has been in and out of the game, as often is the case. They haven't got enough from his little bursts as it's pumped long from right. A foul.
All their good moments have really been long balls, direct football onto either Sherman or Engels, and they've linked up. Here's that man again. Tolkien was bombing down the left if you can play him in, but Wadawu read that one like a book. He was shifting back, he shifted flanks, he knew exactly where they wanted to attack from. Wadawu. It was well defended as we see the first substitution of the day.
Luke Warner. Yeah, it's the right change for mine.
Yeah. Whilst he's played a very nice defensive midfield in this game, he's broken up the play really well, Guy Boyle. But the time's now come where you can't afford to have it. They've got to get more bodies forward. He's broken up the play superbly, especially in the second half. The ball's been hacked forward quickly as the throw comes in the air in the direction of Sherman. Dangerously goes to the back post where Walsh is. Got his boot round it, but it was repelled by Vandermeer. And Hoy tries in vain to keep it in, but he can't. And it'll be a throw-in for Zebras in a good area.
It's the right change, I think.
Yeah, as I say, he's been good defensively, but now you just got to rely on your centre-backs to break up any attacks and get another body forward onto the head of Sherman. And they win the corner.
He's been tremendous, Sherman.
Man, Mountain up top, he has been really their best player today, quite comfortably, I thought. Engels has been good too. They've just lacked the support, really. Those two have had to do it all themselves.
Tyler Harrison pushes forward. They got very little back in support if it does come out. Engels is a flat one to the front post. Almost flicked on by Fag, but Olympia should see it clear. Walsh under it. Headers it. Hay can't see it wide of Sekiris. Sekiris just goes, I'll have that, and send it into the stands.
Nearly killed a little kid.
Yeah, classic kid killer there from Sekiris. He's absolutely wrapped the boot around that one. He was flying in. Throwing in. Toghill finds Hay, receives back and back to the one defensive player in that half now. Fag's got back there. It's Harrison. Drives along looking for the legs of Dwayne Walsh. He traces hard. He tried his best, but in the end all he could really do is shove and hope. And races out of play and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, we're doing well to track back and help out his defence here. He's certainly got the legs to go with Walsh. He's plenty of pace. He's worked really hard today, Warren Wadzawa. In no rush to take this is Sean Lewis, just making sure that it was a foul, not a goal kick. And I'm sure he's perfectly aware the foul was played. And he'll launch this one long now. On the flag, it's a pretty poor kick though. Straight on the head of Walsh. He wanted to Muller, flicked onto Engels. Now here's Sherman. And he played the through ball. He tries a spectacular lob with the left foot from 40 yards. Don't know about that.
Look, he's been good, but what is that?
It's not a percentage play, it's fair to say. It certainly would have been one of the great cup goals had he pulled it off, but
it goes in.
Not a percentage play.
You do look like an absolute hero, don't you? Lewis drives along from the goal kick. It's long onto the head of Hoy. Yet again, an interesting aerial target, but he does win it, but it's straight into the path of right. He'll send forth. Long and strong, looking for McEwen, who's battling there with Cullen. Cullen loses his footing. It's picked up by McEwen. From the byline, it ricochets off Cullen. He keeps it alive, McEwen. Nudges back, puts it into the box, and it's swept clear by Vandermeer. Been pretty uncompromising back there. It's won by Fag for Hay. Looking for Sherman. Oh, straight in with Darwin, just picked up with perfection by Nichols, and Darwin's at the races now. He nudges by Muller. He's got Sherman tracking back to help out. Puts it into the top of the 6. Harrison beats Sekiris to it. Sekiris over the top of his head and over the top of the goal frame. Very close from the Warriors' spearhead. Not to be.
Attacking football that. Nichols got it started, got it to Wadawa, who just burnt down that left-hand side. Some brilliant work, and his ball was a dangerous one. Harrison just cut it out, but couldn't kill it. And in the end, Sekiris nearly iced the contest. We're inside the final 10 now. It's looking unlikely. It's getting to last chance saloon time here. Engels competing in the air with Nichols. Play on, says the referee. Here's Sherman out to the right. Walsh tracking inside. Probably the wrong option. Probably should have used Muller in support. And now they're breaking dangerously again. Sekiris up against Harrison. The lettuce farmer bursting through the middle. He's got Hoy out wide areas if he wants him. That's handball surely against Hoy. The referee says play on. Hoy still running at defenders. Still causing problems with those quick feet. Lovely work in the end to the lettuce farmer Meredith. Dinks one in for Sekiris. Right, did enough to put him off and get his body in the way, and they'll clear the area. McEwen up against Woolley. Woolley won the header. Back to Callan. Here's Nichols, calming presence in midfield. Lyle stumps it forward, but straight down Tyler Harrison's throat. He'll apply it to Muller. He's got Hay short, opposite to go back. As far as they're concerned, it's the wrong part of the ground. Now Togio's got some space. He's got Warrener. Sherman dropping a little bit short for mine. He's wants to be involved, but I think he needs to be that last line target. And I think he's injured himself here, Sherman. He's clutching at his shoulder, so that's a bad sign. That's not good at all. He's been one of their best avenues, and they haven't really, for all their territorial dominance in this half, for all the balls into the area, haven't really crafted a clear-cut chance yet.
No. They're going to make another change, surely. 83 minutes, 3 caution to the wind.
Well, I think Hayes think he must be. We've got our best players out there. I'm backing them in, but I'm just not. I suppose if they had another striker on the bench, they might go for it, but I suppose they think they got the best options out there. But I was going to say, time ticking, fastly becoming an enemy of the Zebras here. The Warriors have dealt with everything pretty well. Right, telling everyone to get forward. And yeah, Sherman, I just think he needs to play more as an out-and-out striker now. He's dropping a little deep. Obviously wants to get involved and drive his team, but McEwen's not looked particularly likely in there. He's Warner up against Woolley, and that wasn't particularly pretty. Straight out of play, goal kick.
Tough to see Zebras winning it from here. Their best chances, sending it extra time, and even that, it's a bridge too far. Lewis over the ball. As you said, Drewster, a lot of territorial advantage in this half for Zebras, but not a lot of chances. It's a pump long from Lewis, beyond halfway. They contest yet again. It's Hoy who comes out with it. No foul coming, though, from referee Charlie White. Zebras see it out through Muller to Warrener. Bobbles off his boot, and Woolley takes the ball with a deflection out of play for another throw-in. Woolley down the line to Hoy, and he falls to the deck. Not sure there was plenty in that one, but it's a foul nonetheless, and Zebras will have to defend.
Woolley in absolutely no rush. I'm going to go down the line to Hoy here. He does just that. Tolkill was alert to it, but he overcommitted, and will it stay in play? It does. The Canadian doing well. Looks to stand up and gets around Fag. Beautiful battle back to Sekiris. His end product was lacking, but that was sublime play there from the Canadian. Engels took a tumble, and in the end he is rewarded. He certainly hit the deck hoping to draw the foul, and he got it in the end. I thought for a second Charlie White was just going to let play go, but
he should have.
In the end, he blows for it.
It was very soft, but I suppose that's him being consistent. There's been a few of them. So is he consistent? That's all you want?
I think he's refereed pretty well today. I don't think there's anything contentious we can point to.
No, just maybe a couple of ones that he could have let go that he didn't, but that's the better way to be than the reverse as it comes through from Sherman looking for McEwen as Lewis out. Beats Sunday to it, swallows it. He'll just take his sweet time.
Yeah, 5 minutes plus. You can't imagine there'll be much stoppage time. I can't say there being more than a minute, although Olympia games do tend to get stoppage time phantomly at times, as we saw last week. Bit of McNeil time, as it'll be fondly known from now on. Admittedly, South Hobart have been doing that for years, so probably Olympia due some. Anyway, here's Sunday McEwen again. He can't get in behind Callan. They've defended really well, Olympia. They've been put under the acid test in the second half, and they've denied them really the room to craft chances. It's just been crosses into the area, people not quite getting on the end of it. Engels is going to launch the cannon here. He throws it onto the head of Sherman, and that should be a corner. And it is. And they'll get more bodies forward here. It's last chance saloon stuff here. They need 2 goals. They need to do what Olympia did last week. 2 goals in the last 4 minutes. It's hard to see where it comes from. You feel if they can get one here, there'll be some nervy moments at the end. That's a really bad corner. You know, bodies in the box and just floats it to the top where there was only Sekiris. So wasteful, and Wright will just launch the direct ball again. That's a good piece of work. Here's Sunday McEwen to drive off the post, and Warner getting in, and he can't get it. Well defended. The woodwork denies the Zebras. Oh, the Olympic crowd loving that, and that you feel was the chance.
Tyler Harrison, what a flick on with the header. Good strike from Adam McEwen.
Adler was beaten at his near post. Couldn't beat the woodwork itself though.
Unlucky there for the Zebras. That was a good chance as Hoy races away now. He's got Toghill for company. He'll take his time and just poke it out in front of Sekiris. He's shoved off it by Harrison, but no foul coming from White. Instead, Sekiris shown a slice.
Must have been foul reacted.
Yeah.
He had a case expiry blatantly shoved, I thought.
I thought he was well and truly pushed. So Sekiris into the book. A fair few slices of the great cheddar dished out today. Right over this one. Along it goes. It's there and it's flicked on by Callum. This should be a corner, and it is. So a corner now.
It is just a Route 1 football, this. That wasn't a heap in it, I suppose. It did seem a foul, but...
It looked a foul in real time. You watch that again. Pretty fair decision.
Yeah, fair play.
Corner now.
Needs to be better than last time. And it is. It's into a dangerous area with Dawu. Surprisingly, rose highest. Nichols then away, only as far as Muller. Tolkill brings it under control. Looks to launch a shot, but it was well blocked. They repel the danger again. And Wright waits on this one. Oh, just takes it over the top of Hoyt as the Scotsman. Now here's a chance for Wright to look out, playing as an outfielder now. It's a glorious little ball too. And I was on the end of it. And he's really the Manuel Neuer sweeper keeper coming out here. And there'll be another slice of cheese, this time for Sherman, as he rather crudely hacked down. Is it Nichols over there? It's going to be a bit of cramp, bit of timely cramp for Nichols. And 88.5 minutes tick by. Olympia looking pretty comfortable now as we look again at Hoy just dinking it over the top. But you can't see there being more than a minute of added time. Maybe a couple of minutes left. This one looks like it's got away from the Zebras, and Olympia with an absolute blitzkrieg in the first half now blew them off the park. And the second half just sat back and defended stoutly, looking every bit the Victory League Cup champions.
Oh, look at this, a little up close and personal. Gill pretty keen to get things moving, rightfully so. Throw down the line, flicked along by Warrener. Callan will just watch this one out, and as you can see, not long to go for the Zebras. Their issue is this game unravelled for them in the first 20 minutes. It's been an issue they've had this season. We saw over at Darcy Street it was 13 minutes and the game was gone.
Yeah, very similar to that Darcy Street game, wasn't it? They just didn't rock up. Well, the first 5 minutes, mind you, they were very impressive, the Zebras, and then Olympia took a hold, drafted a couple of chances, buried one, and from there it just unravelled, and they were completely rattled and didn't recover in time. Engels in behind. He could get a late one back just for a nervy moment, but it was really well defended in the end. Very nicely done by Callan. Got a boot in. It's just been that sort of day for Zebras. They've just not quite been able to make it happen in the opposition area, as Meredith, who was so integral with a goal and assist in that first half an hour. I don't have a clue where 3 minutes of additional time's come from, but Zebras have been given a chance here.
3 minutes of additional time.
I have no idea where that's been pulled from, Gilly, do you?
No, but here it is as it's lofted in. Oh, they rise high. It's McEwen. It's out through Vandermeer. Tolkill brings down, and Sekiris will just clear this one. Just try and get it out of the danger area. Graham Wright, a long way from home, comes out to get the ball, to get things moving quickly for the black and white. Along it goes, a throw from Fag. It's a decent one. Brought down from Sherman. Hay steadies to shoot. It's blocked. It's out on the right-hand side now. Oh, with a jig and oh, no. It's Harrison who jigged inside. He laid off for Hay, and his effort was a shocker.
And got the big Bronx from the Olympia faithful too. Have been very vocal all day.
A former Olympia player, of course.
Giving in the Bronx. They enjoy that one just like they're about to enjoy a cup victory, it would seem. It would take a truly remarkable feat to avoid defeat now. Well, the Zebras 2 goals down. Should be the game over, really, but we've got 3 minutes of added time, so 2 more minutes left here. Wadawu doesn't know where the ball is. He's still able to gather it up. Harrison chips it forward. Walsh. That's at the wrong end of the pitch as far as Zebras are concerned, though. Muller flicks on. Getting in there was Nichols. Turned over, though. Sherman won it and was hacked down. Play on, the advantage given. Walsh with an overlapping run, but his touch was heavy, and Vandermeer puts it into touch. And last out off Walsh, so that might just be that, I reckon.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a treble for Olympia. The Summer Cup, the Victory League, and the Victory Cup. tremendous season for the boys from Warrior Park.
Well, they've been an outstanding team. We saw pre-season they were up for it early in the year. They looked really good, but we've seen that before from the Warriors, and they've not delivered when it counted. But boy, did they deliver this season. A slight hiccup at the end of the year, but they still emerged league champions. They've been the best team as the late long throwers again heaved in, and again pretty well repelled by the Olympia back four. They've really withstood this barrage well. Lewis over the top, and then poked over the top by Tyler Harrison. Well, it probably would have been little more than a consolation goal anyway, but Harrison should have dobbed this one. He's put it over the top.
As he missed.
It's been that sort of day for the Zebs. It's just not gone right. And the early blitz was the difference, as Callan is now being subbed off here by the looks of it.
Callan, great shift at centre back. He's had Sherman for company for a fair part of it, and Sherman probably got the honours there, but he's been great slotting into centre half.
Well, look, they've been under siege in this second half. There's been a lot of balls into the area, and they've not yielded a goal. There was the penalty at the end of the first half, but plenty of ball in the opposition area. It's been dealt with aplomb by Van der May, really. The whole back four. Nichols has dropped back a bit, and they've defended stoutly. They've had a lead to be able to sit back on, and they've done it expertly, Olympia. They'll be deserving cup champions. They've been the better side today. They snuck through last week, a real Houdini act, and they've come out and produced their best football today, and their third trophy in what has been an outstanding season for the boys from Warrior Park.
So you'd think it's one last play here, and that'll be the ball game. Zebras, their bridesmaid situation continues to haunt them, really. They continue to make these finals and continue to bow out.
Comfortably second best today.
Jacob Herbert going to make a change. Is Jacob Herbert on? They won't make the substitution, it appears.
Imagine the final whistle's about to go. There it is! Olympia Warriors complete a treble. An outstanding display. The damage was done early. They blasted three past them in the blink of an eye. A penalty just before half-time gave the Zebras some hope. They put them under siege in the second half, but still really couldn't create the chances they needed. They defended well. They had the lead to be able to sit back on, and a deserved victory for Olympia Warriors. 3-1 here, Gilly.
A deserved victory indeed. We'll get down to ground level now, Drewster, and catch some of this reaction. A historic day for Olympia, treble for them. Of course, silverware had eluded them for so long. They've added another one to the cabinet now, and they go on to the NPL Final Series next week. Head to Football Fed Taz Facebook. We'll put all the details up on how you can watch them. We won't be over there bringing it to you, but FFV will. That's the end of our season, Drewster. It's been a good one.
Yeah, and an absolute blast doing it this year with you, Gilly. It's been a pleasure. The standard of the game is really improving in Tasmania, I think. The Victory League continues to grow. We saw South Hobart in the FFA Cup really doing Tasmanian football proud, and hopefully Olympia can do the same at the NPL.
Absolutely. Let's hope we maybe get a home game. If they pop up and win, we actually might come back.
We might be back.
This might not be goodbye, but it is goodbye for now, and we'll leave you. We'll get down and get some of the reaction and some of the celebration. A big day for Olympia. They are Victory Cup champions, going with their Victory League championship, and of course the Summer Cup earlier on in the year. Congratulations at Olympia. Commiserations, the Zebras. You've got it. We'll get down there. Come on the Rooster.
Again, that makes it good. That's been done. First up, Nick Meredith. Thanks, mate. Next go. Quick go. Thanks.